Worthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on this Monday afternoon. Landon Schmidt producing. We're with you for the next 3 hours. So much to get into after the busy weekend around the sports world. A little bit of everything going on. You've got college football, NFL, playoffs in Major League Baseball. You even have some preseason NBA games over the weekend. So a lot going on, a lot that we have to get to. The Grizzlies will start their preseason campaign tonight with a home matchup against the Detroit Pistons. We'll talk a little bit about that. It's going to be a lot of football today with the Tigers winning again over the weekend. We've got Monday Night Football later tonight, so a lot to get into over these next 3 hours. But, Brett, what a fun weekend around the sports world.
The ranked Memphis Tigers won this weekend. Please tell me you didn't leave early.
No, I did not leave early.
Good.
No, I stayed the whole time for that one.
Did you persuade the people with you, or was it the people that got you to leave early years ago?
No. I was with Connor, so it was just me and him. And,
non-negotiable to leave early with Connor, right?
No. We were there for the whole thing and had a good time. Saw a lot of people out there. I thought it was a really good crowd against Tulsa, and was a really good game, and had a lot of fun out there. So now you're nationally ranked Memphis Tigers, and they'll get the off week this week, kind of regroup, and then it'll be a road game against UAB. We now know that game will be a 3:00 kickoff. It will be on ESPN2, so a little clarity there. But a week off for the Tigers as they can sit back and relax, looking up and seeing they're not only in the coaches poll but also in the AP poll. So a lot of things going really, really well for this Tigers team right now.
Can't be any better than undefeated at the open day.
Right, yeah, and I think I know we're going to talk to Jonah Dillon here in a little bit at 3:30, but I know he doesn't slow down for Jonah, even though it's an off week for the Tigers. Jonah doesn't slow down. I know he was saying, he had a story up today, kind of looking around at everything at the halfway point, and so it's kind of crazy to think we're this far into the season, and the Tigers, they're rolling right along, like you said, undefeated and ranked in the AP poll. So yeah, you couldn't ask for a better start for the Tigers.
So the next open date for the Tigers will be the weekend before they play on Thursday of Thanksgiving. They'll be off Saturday the 22nd. No game that Thursday, Friday, or Saturday. They're not playing on Thursday all year except for the Navy game on Thanksgiving. I watched a lot of Navy Saturday. Mm-hmm. That was a really good game with the Air Force, but watched a lot of the Tiger games Saturday night. And, Brian, I can't wait till we visit with Jonah at the bottom of this hour. That looks like a team that has depth and developing depth during the season, and you can get better. Good teams get better in the season.
Yeah, no, I think they definitely are, and I think you're seeing that improvement. I think going into the year, the big question was, what is the pass game going to look like, offensively at least? You felt pretty good about the run game with Sutton Smith and Greg Duosier returning, but it was, what will this pass game look like? I think you can clearly see from game one to what we saw Saturday against Tulsa, this pass game has improved. You've got, we talked a lot with Jonah last week about Cortez Braham. He has kind of come in and it's taken him some time to learn the system and learn the playbook, but now he's kind of turned into that number one. So you have him, and we're all talking about him being the number one, but here comes Jamari Hawkins, who has a 100-yard game receiving. You have Marcelo Bussey, who has, been improving as the season's been going on. I think you're seeing it in a lot of ways, this team improving and getting better. I think that line play has looked better, and I think that was a lot of continuity, bringing in a lot of new guys. But, I think defensively, you talk about, developing some of those guys. I think that was the biggest thing is Coach Silverfield has talked a lot about depth, especially on that defensive line. You're seeing them rotate guys in and get a lot of guys some action. So, it's been really fun to watch.
I thoroughly enjoyed got to watch a lot of the Tiger game, most of the Tiger game Saturday night, even after it was out of hand really early. You knew almost from the kickoff which team was better, and they really showed it, winning easily 45-7. I'm not going to freak out over the Ja Morant news. I would say, if anything, I'd rather have it now than 6 weeks from now. 3 weeks from Wednesday, opening night, and it says the Grizzlies release week to week. That doesn't sound great.
No.
But we know ankles and sprains and things like that happen, in any sport. Now, I'm very familiar with a sprained ankle at Ole Miss. It's been almost 5 weeks.
Sure. Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know what kind of ankle injury this is. Obviously, there's a big difference between just a rolled ankle, an ankle sprain, and a high ankle sprain. Obviously, high ankle sprains is where you get into that, really long time, month, if not more, being out. And so, I think what I'm hoping, and we'll probably get more clarity, maybe even tonight with the preseason game, but certainly later this week, I would think we would get more news on this. But I think I'm hoping that, this is just, hey, rolled ankle, sprained ankle. We know Ja Morant is going to be fine when he gets out there. And so, hey, let's rest it. Let's make sure we are 100% for game one, the opening game. And so, no, I'm until I get more information, if next week we get the PR release that says we'll reevaluate in 3 weeks, okay, then that's when we start having that conversation. But right now, I'm not going to freak out at all about it.
And interested to see tonight at the home preseason opener if he's there. If he's there on crutches, if he's there in a boot. Sure. I wouldn't freak over either of those with a sprained ankle, but we'll see as time goes on. 2 weeks from opening night, though. And Bryant, I'm not going to freak even if we get that clarification in a week or 2 weeks that it's 2 or 3 more weeks from the Grizzlies. We know how these injuries happen. The only thing I'm going to say is at the end of last year, I was ready to move on with everybody and everything because I was scared of the first time whenever that might happen that we would have something like this. He can't help it. There's nothing – I don't think there's anything he's doing that causes it other than he has shown over his career to be a slight player and often injured.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's unfortunate. I think that's the thing. I was thinking about it earlier when the news came out. I think if this was, pretty much insert any other player around the NBA, and it's nobody's talking about it. It's not a big deal. Okay, he's missing some preseason games. Who cares? It's the fact that it is Ja Morant, and we have this shown history of injury, and the biggest question around everybody, no matter if it's somebody locally or if it's nationally, the biggest question around the Grizzlies is, can Ja Morant stay healthy? And so when you have that, then yes, any injury becomes a story. And so, yeah, I mean, I hope it is something that is just very minor, and they're being precautionary about it and holding them out of preseason games. We got I think, hopefully good news with Jaren Jackson Jr. It seems like he's going to be back earlier than expected. But, with these guys that have had a lot of injury history, it's never good when you get that tweet. And I'll be honest, when I saw that tweet from our friend DeMichael Cole earlier this morning, and I saw Ja Morant ankle, I said, oh, no, not again. And it's just one of those things. When you have that injury history, you never like to see that tweet come out.
And for Ja Morant to have played most NBA games, 67, we were wondering if this is finally the year. Last week, a week ago today, he was asked what was his goal. He said 82 games. Yeah. Well, we'll see if he can go opening night.
Yeah, and so that is the hope. I'm not going to get worried about a sprained ankle until we get more information about it. But I guess the hope is that it is just
good thing we weren't going to freak out because we almost sounded like we freaked out.
No, I am definitely not. I think it's a non-story at all to miss some preseason games. But it is going to be fun tonight. I'm excited. We're going to see some good things. I think we'll see Cedric Coward tonight. The first time we've seen Cedric Coward. First time for a lot of us maybe to ever watch Cedric Coward because obviously the injury in November and then burst onto the scene with throughout the draft process. So that should be a lot of fun. Obviously, Tomas Islo getting ready to start his first full season as the head coach. Curious to see how what it looks like with him now. He talked a lot at the end of last season with that interim tag of he gets in there. There's not a lot of days to practice. It was kind of the late season grind, and so he said couldn't really get his stuff implemented. Curious to see how he has started implementing that stuff. And but we won't see Ja Morant out there, which is definitely a bummer. But I think some good things to keep an eye on tonight with the Grizzlies preseason opener against Detroit.
Well, that's all those undefeated teams in the NFL. Miami Dolphins 72. Yeah, just a big champagne bath last night, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, I think I am the curse breaker for the defeated team. I don't know about undefeated teams. I don't know if I have that, but I have been pretty good on teams that haven't won yet, getting them wins, but I hope I didn't jinx undefeated teams. I think I can just help teams that have gotten beat to
We're down to 2 winless.
The Jets, and is there another one out there? I know the Jets because I had to.
Just the Jets.
I had to watch
Just
them
the
yesterday.
Jets,
and
no
the Jets
longer
are
Titans.
Really bad, yeah. So
We're off that list.
We're very close to no winless and no undefeated, Brett, which would be.
And how about yesterday entering the game, the Cowboys with the record of 1-2-1.
Love that. Now 2-2-1.
2-2-1. That's right.
Man.
Now a really freaky zone defense, the 2-2-1.
Well, that's right. Yes, that is really freaky. But like you were talking about last night, Sunday Night Football, Bills with their first loss of the season at home, no less, against the Patriots. And don't look now, Mike Vrabel, hey, he's got the Patriots 3-2 right now. Feisty Patriots team.
Feisty Patriots. Mike Vrabel, I think, would have been a big winner.
Yeah.
Had success in Nashville, but wasn't good enough, and he was out, and then A.J. Brown was out, and Derrick Henry was out, and now you're celebrating one of the wilder ways to win ever. And you could feel it coming after the players' celebration and just why do that? I mean, run through the back of the end zone. Then you can launch the ball up to the ceiling if you would like.
Yeah.
I mean, the ball's not heavy, is it?
No, it definitely is not heavy. No,
I mean, is it taking a strain off?
Well, it's almost let that weight go. You're
not carrying an Olympic shot put over the goal line.
It's strange because I thought we got away from that. I mean, it feels like every time this happens, it becomes the biggest story, and everyone jokes and makes fun of it and all that stuff. So I thought
and should.
No, absolutely should. But I thought we got away from it. And actually, it's funny that this happened because there is a new TV show. Landon, have you watched this new Chad Powers show on Hulu yet?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna.
Okay, so there's this new show. It's basically, Brett, I don't know if you've heard of it. It's a streaming-only show, but it is based off of do you remember a couple years ago when Eli Manning dressed up and had all the makeup on and went to Penn
Chad
State?
Powers.
That's exactly, Brett, you're very hip. You know exactly
only
what's going on. Well, yes.
Only
So they have turned that into a TV show, and the opening scene, he becomes a laughingstock because he fumbles it as he is running into the end zone. And so that is the whole joke of it.
Chad, Eli does?
Well, the person playing, it's not Eli playing him, but the person playing that character, he fumbles as he's running into the end zone. The exact same thing that happened over the weekend in the NFL. That show, I think, premiered last Monday, and then this happens over the weekend. So, I mean, it was almost, you couldn't.
Foreshadowing.
You couldn't make it any better than that. But yes, and then the way that the Titans came down after that, because Brett, that was he holds on to that ball. What was it? That would have made it 28-6. That was more.
Then you start, rushing Cam Ward till he doesn't know where they're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been over at that point. And then the fact that you have the interception that turns into a fumble that just gets kicked around. I mean, soccer breaks out, and then you dive on it in the end zone. Who was it? Tyler Lockett that dove on that.
That was a rushing touchdown from Tyler Lockett.
That's what Landon told me this morning. I was asking him about the game, and he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. All I saw was a rushing touchdown from Tyler Lockett. Yeah, no.
Like Eddie George used to do it for the Titans, right?
Right.
Absolutely.
Tyler Lockett, Eddie George, they're basically the same
Basically the
player,
same thing.
Chris Johnson, yeah.
One of the weirder games got to be
Titans
the
will take
weirdest
it,
first win of the season by any team in NFL history.
It's the most
And
Titans
we'll
win
be-
ever.
Yes.
And will be even more weird at the end of the year when the Titans are 1-16.
No, let's not go that far.
Say, Brett, come on. I mean, don't do that to Landon.
We can get two.
I mean, can you?
If we can get one, we can get two.
Maybe.
Brian, I know you're going to go over the rundown for the show. Should we warn or alert this great loyal audience of ours about what we're going to do right before the break at 5:45? You know what it is.
Well, Brad,
so,
I didn't know where we were going to put it. You've told me that we were doing it, and I didn't know where we were going to fit it in. I mean, today is such a packed
I'm sorry.
day that
Landon and I kind of we talked about it.
That's fine.
We'll do
please.
it after Monday Night Football preview and pick, and the Big Four for all time for Kansas City, Jacksonville, and Jacksonville. Do you realize I have more Hall of Famers in my Big Four for Jacksonville than I do for Kansas City?
Yeah, no, that's pretty surprising.
It's a little quirky, though.
It is
right?
okay. Yeah,
you get the quirk.
Yeah, I know. I definitely get the quirk. I like it. I'm cool with it. cool with it.
I think the only Hall of Famer for Jacksonville.
Yeah.
That you would call a Jag.
Sure. But no, that's gonna be fun. And then go ahead, Brett. Tell them what we're doing. You stopped short of telling them what we're doing at 5:40. It was almost like you wanted to forget about it.
Well, I don't know if it will. I don't know if it'll bring audience in or run them off.
Yeah, you shouldn't have told them the time we were
Hockey
doing it, Brett.
picks.
That was the mistake by you. Is now they know at 5:40. Let's all change the channel as one.
The 2.5 minutes we talk in the preseason about hockey.
That's right. Hockey picks.
East, West, Stanley Cup picks at 5:43.
Now, Brett, when you say East, West, are we just saying like the team that comes out of both conferences?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, because I don't know if I can come up with all the others.
I was about to say, because I look, Brett, I wear the cap, and believe me, Thursday when the Kraken open their season, I will be wearing my Kraken sweater in here, no matter what the temperature is. I wear the cap of hockey guy on this show.
You are.
I don't know if I could
aficionado.
do. I don't know if I could do rankings for both East and West like we do for baseball.
I don't
picks.
know how they do playoffs anymore.
I could maybe figure it out. I don't know if I could even. Kraken have not had much playoff success, so I don't even really worry about that type of.
I know they put about everybody in the playoffs.
A lot of teams make the playoffs.
Speaking of baseball playoffs, big and Canada, talking hockey, big Canada, you know what, opened up on the Yankees by Toronto.
Sure has been. They have looked really good, and yesterday did it behind a young prospect in Savage, who was really
had a no-hitter
good.
going for a while.
Sure did. He looked really, really good. So, yeah, no. A lot going on right now in the sports world. It's only going to get more crowded with hockey and basketball getting started. So it's best time of the year, right?
Have you ever seen Bama so excited over beating Vanderbilt?
Brett, I could not believe some of the reactions from the players on the sideline when they realized they had secured the win over Vanderbilt. Anchor down. Vandy's back.
I've never seen anything like it.
Never.
Which that says a lot about Vandy. Mm-hmm. Does it say something about Alabama?
Yeah, Brett, I think it might be a new day in Alabama.
Now, I think winning absolutely should be celebrated. Mm-hmm. But one of the lustier, raucous, rammer-jammer post-game chant I've heard in a while.
It was,
maybe the winning had become so passe,
maybe
it's being maybe more appreciated again.
Maybe. That could be something.
And there's nothing wrong with that because, look, we know crowds started getting there late and leaving early for a lot of the Coach Nick Saban games. Not the big ones, but for some of them.
Yes.
For Vandy, it used to be that way.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. Go tailgate and maybe we'll go in, maybe we won't. You know, we know what's going to happen.
I even said on these airwaves, a lot of times at those games, the crowds were so poor. I said, imagine being in college during the greatest college football run ever. And years from now, telling people I didn't go to a lot of the games. I just went to the big ones.
That's right, yeah. Well, and now things are changing a little bit.
Now Vandy's big.
Now Vandy is very big, and you got people jawing with Pavia after the game.
With Johnny?
With Johnny. I mean, it was
Johnny down there pulling on the vape during the game.
Sure was, and rocking a Pavia jersey. It was
it
was something. I don't know, but it was fun to watch.
I checked Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Department's website periodically during the night Saturday and never saw any incoming for one John Manziel.
That's good. You know, I think the checklist for Johnny Manziel when he goes into a town, not be a part of the police department's anything. I don't know. At Texas A&M, they have the great Twitter page for their police department where they do live updates during the games when they arrest people.
Something.
It is hilarious. It is one of my favorite things to look at during games.
A guy arrested in the stadium for public intoxication, helping another buddy out.
How about that? You know,
I mean Lumongus hadn't.
I mean, we've all been there, right? No, but
now Johnny and Pavia friends because Johnny lives in Nashville.
Yeah, I don't know how the connection started.
Hanks.
Yeah, I think it was just more.
Boy, what a shocker. Johnny Manziel in Nashville.
Yeah, well, it's probably somewhere he needs to stay away from. Yeah. But no, I think it's just, Pavia talked last year very early in the season about he loved Johnny Manziel. I think they just got connected. And
was a player, how could you not?
I mean, especially at the quarterback position. I mean, good Lord. I mean,
and wearing that number 2.
Oh, sure. So I think that's where it started, and they've kind of developed a friendship championship. So no, it was fun. Theo Vaughn down there. Brett, you learned who Theo Vaughn was.
I had to text you to give me a
Saturday.
primer on who Theo Vaughn was.
Did, and he
comedian,
was
hey,
comedian. Yes, he is he is comedian. Brett, I told you over text. College Game Day, not the set.
You didn't think that was a forum for him to really hit it?
No. It
was good because he didn't.
No, it was not the right spot for him. But he is. I like Theo Vaughn. I think he's a.
Is he funny?
He's a funny guy. But his is more like storytelling funny. You know what I mean?
Long
like,
form.
Yes. So like the quick, you have like 20 seconds on the desk. Not really his forte. Yeah,
that was tough for him.
Wasn't a good spot for him, but it was fun down in.
And the charity laughs didn't help either.
No. They never help, but you you got to give them sometimes.
But they do it for Jay Billis all winter during college basketball game day, so they get the charity laugh. Reese ought to be a pro at that.
Brett, kudos to you for even being able to pull that out of basketball college game day.
I'll be here all week.
I do not have that in my bag, unfortunately, but we have a super busy show, so let me go ahead and set it up before we get to top and not top story of the day. 3:30, Jonah Dillon, the Tiger football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of Tigers. We'll recap what happened over the weekend against Tulsa. It's the off week for the Tigers, so we'll kind of take a look at this first half of the season as the Memphis Tigers, the first team in college football to become bowl eligible this season, which was really cool. But after the game, Ryan Silverfield says, we don't care about being bowl eligible. That's not the goal anymore, which is incredible to hear that from a coach, seeing where this football program has gone from, just not that long ago in terms of the history of this program. We'll talk a lot of Tigers at 3:30. 3:45, we will take a review of the Group of Five of the American, everything that happened over the weekend. Maybe even start talking about the game this Friday, a big one in the American. USF, who is also in the AP Top 25, on the road against undefeated North Texas. That will be a big game in the American. We'll talk a lot of American and Group of Five at 3:45. 4 o'clock, David Cobb from CBS Sports. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of college football with him. 4:30 will be our Sissy's Log Cabin look back at the weekend in the SEC. 4:45, big number of the day. 5 o'clock, Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com. He'll join us. We'll talk a lot of A&M, but we'll also talk the SEC and college football at 5 o'clock with Olin. 5:30 will be our Monday Night Football pick and preview. We'll also get our lists, our top 4 all-time for the Jaguars and Kansas City. And at some point towards the end of that segment, I won't tell you a time. We'll just do it at some point. We'll get to hockey picks very quick though, 2 minutes max. I mean, it will not be
just
long
stay tuned.
at all. Yeah, we'll give them quick, and then we'll get to a break, and then we'll be back to regularly scheduled programming, and then at 5:45 we'll wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time. Well, let me remind you, we're in our Family Leisure Studios where family and fun come together. It's the world's biggest spa sale going on right now at Family Leisure. Spas starting at $29.99 and swim spas now up to 30% off. Floor model specials, they're going on as well. Go get a cold plunge. They're starting at $49.99. Free umbrellas with a purchase of select patio furniture sets, and it's a perfect time to go out and purchase a swimming pool because the clearance pricing, it's going on through the end of October. Buy now and save on that price increase. Don't forget about the special financing. It's available, but only at Family Leisure, 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40.
The gang's all here. He's Brian. I'm Brett. Our producers, Landon Schmidt. We're Sports Time. We're with you until 6 o'clock. We want you to be a big part of our show by texting or calling 901-360-8255. That's our Sissy's Log Cabin text and talk line. All our guests will appear on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line at 901-360-8255. We're always from our Family Leisure Studios. We're live. We're local. We're with you until 6 o'clock and every hour, every day. This hour brought to you by Lexus of Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway and online at lexusofmemphis.com. Great offers on all 2025 models and always special leasing options. Driving luxury and confidence knowing that every new Lexus comes with complimentary first and second maintenance services. You can call them at 901-334-9673, but they invite you to stop by the only Lexus dealership in Memphis at 2600 Ridgeway, and that's where you can put yourself in the driver's seat of the all-new 2025 flagship LS500, and you'll be driving in style. When you purchase a Lexus, you get top-of-the-line engineering and design, and they make for the safe luxury driving experience. Online at lexusofmemphis.com. Experience amazing at Lexus of Memphis.
top story of the day.
Well, my top story of the day, it's got to be the weekend of college football. A lot of really entertaining games. You had game day's game, Vanderbilt and Alabama. Vanderbilt looked good early, but Vanderbilt looked good early. Alabama responded and ended up running away with that game towards the end. You had some other big-time games like Miami with a 28-22 win over Florida State, a game that looked a lot closer with the final score. That's because Florida State scored 19 points in the fourth quarter, but it was really all Miami all night. And then we had a lot of upsets around college football. UCLA beating whatever team that was impersonating Penn State out there. I mean, that did not look like a Penn State team, but UCLA gets their first win of the season. Florida at home in the Swamp, they upset Texas to give Texas their second loss of the season. All in all, a phenomenal week. You had Cincinnati at home pulling the upset against Iowa State, a 38-30 win for them. A really fun weekend. You have the Tigers with their win over Tulsa, and now they're in the top 25. Not the only American team in the top 25, because USF joins along with them. So, hey, look at the American. A couple teams in the top 25.
USF that won at the Swamp and Texas couldn't.
Right. Yeah, that's it. You nailed it. I mean, it's
that USF.
It is. It's been a weird year, but it's been a fun year.
It has been a fun year. My top story, 6 down for the hometown Tigers, 6-0, ranked 23rd in the Associated Press. For the Tigers, they get to enjoy the open date this week. How could it be going any better? Manageable schedule remaining with 3 tough home games and a road trip to ECU. Run game sound, quarterback play sound, O-line sound, circus catches every time you go out to the stadium to watch them play. Very tough on defense. I think depth developing there, and a coach with a long line of apologists and some fans to line up and apologize to him for things said about him and to him in the past. Some on these airwaves, not by us, but Ryan Silverfield right now, he is engineering the biggest sports story of the year.
Yeah.
If they go to the college football playoff, possibly the biggest sports story in the history of Memphis sports. I submit that a trip to the college football playoff is bigger than any Final Four.
Interesting.
Not top story of the day.
Well, my not top story of the day, I'll keep it short and sweet. We had NFL football pretty much from the time we woke up until the time we were getting ready to go to bed last night. It started with the Vikings and their 21-17 win over the Browns, and it ended with the Patriots pulling the upset on the road against an undefeated Bills team, 23-20. A lot of interesting results in games throughout the day. The Titans, they pick up their first win. The Texans, who just picked up their first win a week ago, they improved to 2-3 with a 44-10 win over the Ravens. Now, I understand a lot of injuries with this Ravens team. Lamar Jackson didn't play. Their defense is beat up. But still, the Texans that have not looked very good at all this season, getting that type of win over the Ravens. That was a little eye-opening. The Saints get their first win of the season over the Giants. So another interesting weekend in the NFL.
My not top story is it wasn't supposed to be like this for Arch Manning, was it?
No, not at all.
He's in his 3rd year at Texas. 3rd year. So remember when Peyton was in his 3rd year at Tennessee, that was the season of 96. Some thought he might win the Heisman that year. He didn't. Somebody thought he could turn pro after that year and be the number 1 pick. He didn't. 3rd year for Uncle Eli at Ole Miss was the season of 2001, and that had some growing pains, but it looked better than this. He looks like a rookie on a really bad NFL team that drafted him number 1.
Yeah.
That wasn't supposed to be the way it was going to be. And his offensive line play, it's awful. We all see it.
Oh, yeah.
He's not very good. When receivers are open, it's either overthrown, underthrown, right, left. It's never right on time. I don't see one discernible, really strong suit to his game. Maybe moving the pocket a little bit, but straight pocket statue quarterback like his 2 uncles, he can't do it. There's not enough protection, for one thing. And in the preseason, this was the number 1 team in the country, and he was the number 1 draft pick next April in the NFL draft. both were wildly inaccurate.
Number one preseason team, supposed to be number one pick, supposed to be Heisman Trophy winner, and none of that is coming to fruition.
2 or 3
at all.
more losses in Texas, isn't it?
Hey, it looks like it. I mean, that was an ugly performance against Florida. Well, that was top and not top story of the day. Let's get to our first break, and when we return, we're talking Tigers with Jonah Dillon.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
To NST, it's never just another case. It's your shot at getting life back on track. Real help, real heart. 35 years and still winning. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000 or go online at nstlaw.com.
Diesel owners know if you take care of your engine, it'll return the favor. Hot Shot secret formulates additives that help you prevent problems and boost performance. Diesel Extreme cleans internal and external injector deposits. And EDT increases fuel economy by up to 7.3%. Scientifically proven by third-party testing. Add Hot Shot secret at your next fill-up to get the most out of your diesel. Available nationwide at truck stops, farm and automotive stores, and online at hotshotsecret.com. Hot Shot Secret. Powered by science.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters, 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Brad's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, where batteries are as low as $89.99. Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Brad is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you, and we got to talk some Tiger football. Joining us like he does every single Monday afternoon throughout the football season, Jonah Dillon, football beat writer over at the Commercial Appeal. He joins us now. Jonah, thanks so much for joining us. A really fun game Saturday night against Tulsa, a game where I thought I saw the throw and catch of the night when Brendan Lewis connected with Jamari Hawkins and split 2 defenders. Jamari Hawkins goes down at like the 1 or the 2 yard line, a really fun play. And then I don't remember if it was the next drive or 2 drives later when you had Cortez Braham just snatch a ball with one hand out of the air. It feels like every week, Brett said this earlier, it feels like every week we're getting highlight plays from this receiving group.
Yeah, well, I said in the Troy game, Brady Cluse had that one-handed touchdown catch. I think I said at the time, like, well, it's going to be tough to beat that for play of the season when we get to the end. It only took a couple weeks for Cortez Braham to break that one. I mean, that game, even the first half, Greg DeWozier's hurdle was pretty wild. My colleague Chris Day, with an incredible photo, you can check it out. It's on our website. Of Greg DeWozier just fully clearing a defender with that hurdle. And then, Cortez Braham, I mean, that catch was wild, especially the craziest part to me was how casual he was about the way that he did it. He just went up with one hand, didn't even use his whole hand, used a couple fingers, caught it, and then just stood there like, yeah, of course I did. It was a wild play, and obviously what was a blowout win for Memphis.
And the reaction from the people behind him, from stadium personnel to band members to cheerleaders, security, that was great. And Jonah, only because I am extremely ignorant to things like this, I was going to try to forward that photo that you had on your Twitter site to No Context College Football, but I didn't know how. Y'all should.
Well, I don't know if we made it on there, but Yeah, first of all, like, incredible play by Greg DeBosier. When someone's running at you and you just decide you're going to do that, and then to clear him like that, and obviously, shout out to Chris. Great job with that photo. You got to be in the right place at the right time, and he definitely was there.
You really do, Jonah. I think we know on offense, but what are the strengths of this team to get to this point? And the Arkansas game was close, but other than that, to do it fairly easily.
Yeah, I would say the run game. I actually think when you look at Saturday's game, obviously it was never really competitive. The one thing that Tulsa did pretty well was stop the run, especially Memphis's running backs. And Memphis found ways to move the ball pretty easily despite that, which I think is a really positive sign for the rest of the season, because I would have said a week ago, yeah, the run game is definitely the strong suit, but we need to see more consistent passing game success, because you think there's going to be games later in the season where that's going to be necessary. I thought the way that Memphis adjusted offensively was really impressive in that game, and definitely a good sign of things to come. On the other side of the ball, I think the way that Memphis in that game forced turnovers, 4 turnovers forced, the way this defense has been built, obviously speed, kind of creating chaos and stuff, if they can consistently create turnovers, then that's really the recipe for Memphis to be successful in every game this season.
This defense, impressive again against Tulsa. You had a 4-drive sequence where Tulsa went interception, punt. It was halftime, and then their first drive out of halftime, another interception. So 3 interceptions in a 4-series sequence. I think people had questions about this defense coming into the season, mainly because there was a lot of unknown, a lot of new guys on this defense, but they've been remarkable week in and week out, and it's been forcing turnovers like we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, it's also been a variety of different players who have stepped up, right? It's not. I think last year you go back to that defense, and they had a really solid core of guys, especially a linebacker, who were kind of doing it every week. This week it feels like it's somebody else standing out every single game. And so the depth is one thing. We heard that kind of all offseason. Coaches talking about the depth is really good this year. We got a lot of guys. And I think especially on defense, you've seen that. To me, Kamari Wilson has been the standout at safety, not only the interceptions, but in the tackling. But, man, he just hits guys hard. Every time he tackles somebody, it looks painful for the other person, and has been a really key piece of that defense in the back.
Joe, and I said a little bit earlier today that if the Tigers go to the college football playoff, that would be the sports story of the year here locally. I also said I thought it would be bigger than any trip ever to the Final Four. I will amend that slightly to you go to the college football playoff and win a game, then that is the biggest accomplishment in Tigers athletics history, in my opinion. What do you think?
It's tough. National championship, for basketball it's obviously tough to get there. The tournament, once you make it into the NCAA basketball tournament, there's a better chance to get some upsets or just be a really good team. Like, obviously, if you look at Memphis 2008, not even upsets, just beating teams and having a really good team. I think it depends on how that goes. It's interesting. It's only 6 games in the season, and realistically, all Memphis is tough games, especially looking at the way that Arkansas played against Notre Dame. All the best teams on Memphis' schedule, those games are still ahead of us. And so, yes, Memphis is getting that kind of attention. I was even having a discussion with some people about what the most interesting storyline would be if Memphis was in the playoff, like opponent-wise. And then you kind of sit there and think about it, and it's like, okay, well, you still got to beat all these teams that are playing really well right now. So that's an interesting discussion. If we're having it in a couple months, then that means that things have gone really well, obviously.
That's right. It would be in a couple months. But for right now, I think the angle of if Memphis hosted a college football playoff, being one of the protected seeds, 5, 6, 7, or 8, and with undefeated and with winning the American Championship game, I think they could be that. They could be the 8th seed hosting the 9.
I think it's possible. Yeah, you have to go undefeated. So I think if Memphis loses one game, really any American team, then you're looking at the 12th seed as a potential to get in the playoff, just because of how we know seeding goes and these types of things. If Memphis goes undefeated, and obviously that would include wins over those teams that we've been talking about, and then another one in the conference championship game, then I think you are talking about potentially, like you said, an 8th seed or something like that, which would be really interesting. But look, that's what's so interesting about this schedule the rest of the way. You take out UAB and you take out Rice based on how they're playing. You look at 4 other games that are against, probably the top 6 teams in the conference with Memphis and North Texas in there as well. And so those are all winnable games, and to some extent they're all losable too. And so I think, we've seen obviously the signs from this team. We haven't learned a lot because of the opponents, but we'll certainly know by the time we get to the end of November.
Jonah, do you get any sense from Coach Ryan Silverfield of "I told you so"? Critics, back off. Do you get any of that?
No, I don't think yet. I think he's definitely enjoying the national attention that Memphis is getting, and obviously it's deserved based on where they are right now in the playoff race. The reality is you don't want to be peaking in the playoff race in October. You want to peak when they put those 12 teams up there in December after the conference championship games. And so, it's interesting because Memphis was kind of under the radar in the offseason, right? It was not the team that was getting picked to get to the playoff in a lot of projections, and now pretty unanimously Memphis is up there as one of those teams, or as the team. And so I think that kind of sentiment, if Memphis gets to the playoff, wins the conference championship, then I think you'll start to see that a little bit more.
Some of those potential matchups, that is Sunday afternoon sugar plum fairies dancing in our head, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's thinking about storylines. I mean, you look at the teams that are ranked up there. If you're assuming Memphis is a 12, you're looking at a team that's going to be ranked 5, and you're looking at Oregon and potential to face off against Dan Lanning. Obviously, the Ole Miss one has come up quite a few times. And there's just a lot of, I would say, even Missouri, if they keep winning some games, that would be an interesting one. There's a lot of teams up there that could make for fascinating matches. But obviously, look, if you get to the college football playoff, you don't care who you're playing, right? You're just happy that you get that opportunity.
Definitely. Just talking about Ryan Silverfield, I think one of the best things I heard after that game, I think he said it on his post-game radio show or the post-game of the radio broadcast. I think he said it with y'all too after the game of people bringing up Memphis, the first team to get bowl eligible this season in college football, and he kind of pushed away from it. We don't care about getting bowl eligible. We have way higher expectations than that, and to see where this football program was 7, 8, 9 years ago, and now to hear coach say we don't care about just being bowl eligible, I think it shows how far this program has come, and probably one of my favorite quotes from Ryan Silverfield, maybe since he took over.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. I feel like this came up a lot last season, especially towards the end of the season when people were kind of arguing about if it was a successful season, obviously not going to the conference championship, and the conversation always goes back to like, oh, well, remember what Memphis football used to be, right? This was a terrible football program for a really long time. And that's why we spend so much time, talking about 2003 and getting to a bowl game and how important that was. Yeah. Because this is a program that even going to a bowl game was a fantasy, basically. And now, like you said, going to a bowl game is not even – you don't even check that off the box in terms of things that you want to do in a season because the kind of standard has been established that you're beyond that every year. And so, yeah, a lot of teams get to 6 wins and they're bowl eligible and they're partying. Memphis, I think it was like, by the way, you're bowl eligible, after that game on Saturday.
Yeah, it's been a fun start to the season. Now Tigers get some rest, an off week for them, and then they'll face off against UAB next week in Birmingham. Jonah, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again next Monday.
Yep, thanks for having me.
Thanks, Jonah.
Thank you, Jonah. Jonah Dillon with the commercial appeal on all things Tigers on the Tiger Football Beat. Brian, think about it. You're not far off of this, although you at birth you were a Tiger football fan with your fans' adoration and fandom of the Tigers. But think about, and I use 9, 10 years old, kind of when your sports brain's being formed. Well, if you were that 9, 10-year-old of that first year of Justin Fuente, okay, you had to go out there and suffer through the humiliation of the loss opening night to Tennessee Martin. But you saw a little faint trick, some hope that year. Then in 2013, a little more. Well, by the time you're 12 or 13, 2014 hits. Now you're 24 or 25. This is all you know.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, it is a really good point. And, I mean, you talk about that success and, it just the way that it's been sustained over multiple different coaches, over multiple different quarterbacks. It's kind of wild to think about it. It feels like we had this conversation, whether it was coach or quarterback. Okay, Justin Fuente got the success, but can this Mike Norvell fella do it? Okay, Mike Norvell can this Ryan Silverfield fella do it? Then we did it with quarterbacks, right? It was, okay, Paxton Lynch, he was really good.
Different styles of quarterbacks.
Oh, no, you're exactly right. And it was Okay, well, you hit on one. Can you hit on a second? Okay, 2 in a row. No way you can do it 3 in a row. Okay, you did it 3 in a row. You can't do it 4 in a row. So it really has been remarkable what this football program has been able to do. And now, 6-0, bowl eligible yet again. And we'll see if they can make this a really magical year over these next couple of weeks, next couple of months, and get into that college football playoff. I
know a lot of tailgating and a lot of Halloween and this time of year, fall fair stuff. Everybody's trying to come up with the perfect idea on fun ways to treat your guests. We'll let Jason's Deli do it. Step aside, let them step in. That's really when they excel. Same day and last-minute orders welcome, bringing more to the table. It's a family thing at Jason's Deli, whether you're dining in, getting it to go, or getting it delivered. Wholesome food forever. It's a family thing, and all the great fall foods like the Grand Potato Bar, all the soups, all the chili, my favorite, the Texas-style chili, that pasta feast, so many great options that you can have for your special event. And you can go to any of these Jason's Deli locations in our area, over by MUS at Park Place on Ridgeway, by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland, down in Olive Branch, out in Cordova. Off the menu, the Mesa chicken salad, the nutty mixed-up salad, the chicken Caesar salad, my favorite, the taco salad, healthy, first franchise in the nation to be trans fat free. They were healthy on the health kick long before it got cool. Plenty of organic food to choose from in that great salad bar in all these locations with over 30 items for you to prepare it however you would like. And in every location, the complimentary free ice cream. Again, catering anytime, anywhere in a location near you. Out in Cordova, down in Olive Branch, by the University of Memphis at Poplar and Highland, and over across from MUS on Ridgeway Road. Check them out online as well at jasonsdeli.com.
Well, we need to get to a break, and when we return, we'll recap what happened over the weekend in the American and around the Group of Five. We're doing that next on Sports Time.
You have opinions?
I think it's over.
Of course you do.
I don't think it's that simple.
Everyone does.
I got all the answers.
Hit us up on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener line at 360-8255.
If wedding bells are in your future, you need an unforgettable engagement ring from a jeweler you can trust. And that's been James Gaddis Jewelers for over 60 years. With a huge selection and the best prices, James Gaddis is a master jeweler and diamondologist. Beautiful jewelry from James Gaddis is always the right choice. Choose from rings to earrings, necklaces to bracelets, and gemstones to watches. Layaway and financing available. James Gaddis Jewelers, 4900 Poplar, online at GaddisJewelers.com and Instagram at Gaddis Jewelers. Say I do at James Gaddis Jewelers.
Is your wife asking you to stop eating junk food? Well, we have you covered at Humdinger's. It's quick and it's healthy, and most important, it tastes amazing. With many choices from salmon salad to rainbow trout and grilled asparagus. Come visit us for lunch at Humdinger's, 6300 Poplar Avenue. So good, Coach Penny eats with us weekly. Don't forget, Humdinger's offers full-service catering for weddings, social events, or your corporate lunches. You can call 901-260-8292 to find out more.
Do you know one of the best things you can do for your employees or family's health? Provide Arctic Clear bottled water. Arctic Clear bottled water is your locally owned and operated bottled water provider. Arctic Clear is 100% natural spring water with free delivery and setup, dependable service, and no long-term contracts. What an easy choice. Call Jeff Manus today, 901-382-2363, or visit arctic-clear.com. Arctic Clear bottled water. Call now, 382-2363. That's 382-2363.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawild Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawild is a PCUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by Lexus of Memphis. Here are your hosts, Brett Stats Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Well, the Tigers weren't the only big winners over the weekend in the group of five. USF, they also joined the AP Top 25. They played Friday night against Charlotte, a 54-26 win over the 49ers. So now two teams in the top 25 from the American. The American has set themselves up really well this year, and it feels like whoever wins this conference will be that group of five representative.
Brian, it sure does, and you have almost a play-in tournament among those teams.
Yeah, no, you really do, and it starts with a game this Friday night. I mentioned it earlier, but Friday night, USF on the road against North Texas. Right now, North Texas at home is the favorite to win that game on ESPN2 Friday night. So you get a big game there. I know a lot of people here are hoping USF wins that game, and it'll set up here in a couple weeks a big game between the Tigers and USF.
We shouldn't we? That's how we should be thinking.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that is you definitely want USF to be, have a top 25 matchup at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium. Absolutely.
But because of that gravitas of USF winning at the Swamp.
No, definitely. USF has been one of the biggest stories in college football this year with how they started the season with back-to-back top 25 wins and all the buzz that they stirred up, and they lose to Miami, whatever, but now they're starting to get that buzz back. No, I mean
the team that smoked Alabama lost to Miami.
Exactly. I mean, Miami's looking like one of the best teams in the country right now. So I think the reaction to USF losing to Miami was a little much early in the year, but now they're back in the top 25. They're rolling right along in conference play. So yeah, I think you want USF to remain on course so that you can have that big game at Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium here in a couple weeks.
Are we sweating UNLV?
I don't know if I'm sweating them, but I think you keep
They weren't sweating in Laramie, were they?
They
Ice Station Zero that game.
I looked at my phone at the Tigers game.
Mullen looked like he was freezing, and I was hoping he was.
He probably was. Dan Mullen does not seem like the guy that spends a lot of time where it's cold, which I don't blame him. I don't want to spend a lot of time where it's cold either. But I looked at my phone, Brett, and saw a video from that game, and I was like, oh, man. It's snowing. And then I read
October 4th.
And I was like, oh, no, that's hail. That's just straight ice out there in Wyoming. So it is it's weird.
Oh, it wasn't snow?
No, it was ice. It was hail. From what I read, at least, I could be wrong because I was just looking at it on social media. Supposedly it was hailing. It was not snowing. It was hailing. That was straight ice on the field. So
I can't believe they didn't stop the game.
Well, it feels like we stopped the game for everything nowadays, Brett. So, but... who knows what it was? It was something that was frozen. That's all I know.
It wasn't mixed with snow?
It might have been a little mixed with it, but I saw 3 or 4 tweets
because he was bundled up like it was really cold.
A hailstorm. Well, Brett, I know they say that it can hail and it's not that cold when it hails, but I have a rule, Brett. If there's frozen stuff falling from the sky, I'm probably cold.
Somewhere it's 32 degrees.
It's got to be. Yeah, it's
up there, down here, over there.
Things get frozen, I have
It's like every friend that I say, I just never really wanted to go snow skiing because I just don't want to pay money to go be cold with every time I've ever said it, the first thing out of their mouth, oh, it's not that cold.
Right.
Well, wait a second. There's 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, exactly. One way or the other, there's frozen stuff on the ground. It's got to be somewhat cold. I've never really had that urge.
I wouldn't mind seeing Fresno State lose and UNLV get scratched up because I think Boise's eliminated. I think.
Yeah, I think so. 2 losses now. You can make the argument that both those losses have been against really good teams. But I think still 2 losses would put you behind, even if you win that conference, I think would put you behind whoever comes out of the American.
And they weren't that good in either of those losses.
No. And I was having the conversation with somebody. I think you can make the argument, even if Boise State goes perfect the rest of the season and they win the Mountain West, whoever wins the American would have either beaten USF or have just made it past USF, whether it was they played them on the schedule or USF doesn't make the championship game, whatever it might be. They made it out of the conference over a USF team that Boise State couldn't beat. So I would give the edge to the American in that sense.
These Sunday potential matchups are fun.
They're phenomenal. And you and Jonah were talking about the different possibilities out there. I've looked. I only see one potential matchup that everyone is predicting, at least today.
A lot of Memphis Ole Miss.
And that is Memphis Ole Miss. And it's a lot of different ways, but I think ESPN had 12-5. There was another, I think maybe The Athletic had 11-6. So, I mean, people are finding that matchup very intriguing one way or the other.
Had it. There's a lot of different entities with that prediction.
Yeah, I looked at
I know today's October 6th. All I said was it's fun on Sunday afternoon.
It's a blast. I mean, I think any time you can look at these projected college
first
football
loss
playoff,
by either,
then
it changes
It's
everything.
a completely different story. But right now, you got a 6-0 team, you got an Ole Miss team that's rolling. Looking at these, I think it's fun. And, seeing Memphis against anybody is a lot of fun.
I know it's more fun than looking at a potential Birmingham Bowl trip for Ole Miss or a Roasters Coffee Bowl for the Tigers.
Scooters, I think it was.
Scooters. I thought it was Scooters, Roosters or Roasters.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know this is a lot more fun than kind of digging through there and going, oh, yeah, that Tuesday afternoon for afternoon programming in the Bahamas.
Brett, all I know,
or a Birmingham Bowl.
All I know is I don't want to play in it. I'd rather play in the college football playoffs. So
we're a playoff world.
Yeah, no, absolutely are. I mean, we talked about it when the playoffs expanded.
I'm sorry for the traditional bowl season. I didn't do it.
No, I mean, I'm not going to apologize. I'm still going to watch all the games. I just, if I'm Memphis, I'm sitting here 6-0.
I'm going to watch them. I don't want to go to them.
No. I want to be in the college football playoff, and there's a lot of teams that are saying the exact same thing. Well, we need to wrap up this first hour and get to another break, but when we return, we're going to talk more college football. That's because David Cobb from CBS Sports, he covers college football and college basketball over there. He's going to join us, and we'll talk about everything that happened over the weekend. That's next on Sportstime.
Join the voice of the Tigers, Dave Woloshin, for Wolo and Friends. Weekday mornings from 10 to 11 here on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Hey, everybody out there. Walker Taylor with Germantown and Collierville Commissary. Football season is upon us. Nothing better for your next tailgate party than a barbecue buffet spread provided by the Germantown or Collierville Commissary. Catering, self-serve or full, is a specialty of ours. No party too small, no party too large. You can check out our pricing and the items we feature at commissarybbq.com. Holidays will be upon us soon. At our Collierville location, we have a party room for 30 up to 100, perfect for family, business, or church functions. We also have a patio at the Collierville location, perfect in the fall for enjoying football and eating barbecue. Monday through Friday at the Collierville location, we also offer an all-you-can-eat buffet featuring barbecue pulled pork, ribs, fried chicken, and catfish. Each location also offers a $10.95 lunch special, a sandwich, a side, and a drink. Please come visit us at the original in Germantown by the railroad tracks or our new location in Collierville at Houston Levy and Poplar. And as always, go Tigers go.
At Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, we've proudly served families across the Mid-South since 1958. Still family owned and operated, we're built on tradition, trust, and old-fashioned service you can count on. And now to celebrate 68 years of service, we're offering a heating tune-up for just $68. Keep your home safe, efficient, and ready for the cold months ahead. Looking to upgrade? Right now, get up to $2,000 in instant carrier cool cash rebates, plus 60 months no interest financing on select carrier systems. That means comfort and savings today and peace of mind for years to come. But that's not all. Upgrade today and take advantage of $500 off a tankless water heater or a whole home generator installation. Even more ways to protect your home and your family. Don't wait. These special offers won't last. Call 347-8086 or visit ChotesHVAC.com today and turn to the experts with Choates and let our family serve your family.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you can get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. Steady flow of traffic right now on all the major outbound routes. It's gotten heavier, right? You would expect sections of Sam Cooper mostly going outbound. They're on Sam Cooper and Highland as it cranks up right now on I-40 on the 40 bridge here over into West Memphis. A few rain showers still lingering around certain parts of Mississippi. Be careful south of Memphis. Zips Car Wash, that's where I go. And so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Just check out zipscarwash.com. Find a location close to you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy. Weekday mornings from 7 to 10. Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
We're back in Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you on this Monday afternoon, and we got to talk everything that happened over the college football weekend, and we do it every single Monday with David Cobb.
Joining Brian and Brett now on Sports Time is national college football writer for CBS Sports, Memphis native and Tennessee grad, who you can find on Twitter X at David W. Cobb. It's David Cobb.
David Cobb joins us now from CBS Sports to talk college football. David, biggest story from the college football weekend?
Oh, it's absolutely Penn State losing at UCLA. What in the world? Nobody had that on the bingo card. 24.5-point favorites, maybe more than that in some places. For them to go out there and lose to that UCLA team, biggest story of the week. In my mind, I don't even know if it's close. That's a stunner, because it totally changes the whole narrative around the Penn State program right now. Because you think about,
and even more stunning, David, UCLA didn't have enough people to storm the field.
I know it.
A for effort, though. They tried.
That was part of the problem. I mean, you had the whiteout the week before, the emotional letdown of that loss, and then you go and play in front of an empty Rose Bowl against a team that you think you're just going to crush. And that was shocking.
Mm-hmm. No, it absolutely was. I heard it was a blowout for the UCLA game. You couldn't tell watching it, but
insert joke here.
Blew out. Yeah, well, that is.
If the bleachers were blue, then yeah, it was a blew out.
Well, yeah.
It was a concrete out.
Oh, something. I don't know about that. The other big upset over the weekend, Florida beating Texas in the Swamp. I mean, this Texas team, it does not look like anything that we thought they would look like before the season. I mean, we're talking about this being a national championship favorite before the season started. Arch Manning being a Heisman Trophy favorite. I was seeing mock drafts that had him as, no doubt about it, the number one pick in the NFL draft. And this team, Arch Manning, none of that looks true as we're now, 6 weeks into the season?
No, it was a complete failure. A complete failure from Texas. Where do you even begin? I mean, I guess you have to start with Arch Manning. But in addition to Arch Manning, I mean, which is old news at this point. Like, we could have told you after the Ohio State game that he's not as good as advertised. Yeah, right, exactly. And that's been clear for a while now. But what's also shocking is that not only can Texas not run the football, they really didn't even try to run the football against Florida. Then their defense actually made DJ Lagway, who's hobbled, who looks like he's just barely hanging on out there, hung together by duct tape. They made him look really good. So if you can make this Florida team look like a complete team, you got to be pretty bad to do that. You got to play a pretty bad game against Florida to make Florida look like it's a complete team. And Texas did that. Just an embarrassing effort from Texas. I mean, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? I mean, who's the best team in the SEC? Because Georgia's had its hiccup against Alabama. Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Missouri's still undefeated, but I don't know. Like, who is the best team in the league right now? And that's a problem, I think, for the league, is that there is no dominant, clear-cut sort of front runner in the conference.
David, you can look at the rest of these games and the potential with losses scattered about. The doomsday scenario of the train wreck of everybody 9-3 is very real.
Yeah, it is. There will be somebody who comes out of it at 11-1. I think there will be at least one or two that at 10-2. But the cannibalism effect could be real. Now, there's also a scenario where that works in the SEC's favor, where you got a bunch of 9-3 teams that all beat up on each other, and a bunch of them get in. Because here's what I know: the ACC is so bad that we're not going to do what we did last year and let an SMU caliber team into the playoff. I think that ship has sailed. I think we're done with that, and we might only have a one bid Big 12. And then if Notre Dame were to lose one more game, that's all it's going to take is one more game, and they'll be out of the mix. So it could be a situation where you have more at-large spots available to the SEC than you did a year ago. And in that case, yeah, I mean, some of your 9-3 teams are going to get in. In fact, I would say it right now. I'll put money on it. A 9-3 SEC team, at least one, will get into the college football playoff.
David, I don't share your confidence of that because I know what I know what those committees and what precedent means, and a total incompetent like Hunter Yurachek last year just sitting there taking the powder instead of advocating for any one of those 3 9-3 teams, South Carolina, Ole Miss, or Alabama. They all had their flaws. It was easy to eliminate all of them, but to not advocate any harder than he did and to let that SMU stuff occur, and to let the SMU stuff occur when their biggest asset was, well, they came back in the second half of the ACC championship game and didn't get blasted as bad as it looked like they would at halftime.
Oh, I know. It was pathetic, but I do think that SMU's poor playoff performance hurt the ACC's case. And then you look at it like the rest of the here's where it could go wrong. Here's where it could go wrong is if Miami ends up playing Virginia or Duke or whoever in the ACC championship game and they lose. Well, then all of a sudden the ACC is probably going to get 2 teams in because Miami is probably going to get in anyway. So that could be a problem for your 9-3 SEC teams. And then you look at the Big 12. One, I don't really know who the best team in that conference is. I guess it's Texas Tech. So Texas Tech is sitting there at 11-1, and they lost in the Big 12 championship game to Iowa State or whoever. Then that could be a problem for those 9-3 teams in the SEC. But I think the other part of it too, Brett, is at least that they said before the season that the College Football Playoff Selection Committee is now going to more heavily weight and factor in strength of schedule. And even though the SEC doesn't have a dominant tier, it does have a really, really strong, nucleus of depth. And so that depth, I think, is going to help the strength of schedule. And, and if the CFP selection committee says no to those 9-3 SEC teams, doesn't let any of them in, then, what's the purpose of the strength of schedule metric? It didn't change anything at that point. And then I think at that point, the SEC looks in the mirror and says, why do we go to 9 conference games? Why do we just make it harder for ourselves? So I think those two things go hand in hand, and if the SEC gets snubbed again, you might see them kind of revisit. Do we really want to play 9 conference games every year?
David, I respectfully, on the Big 12, I see a bunch of 2-loss, maybe even a couple more 1-loss. Okay, let's concede that Texas Tech's kind of this year's Arizona State. That they go all the way through. There's no arguing about that. They're the conference champion. Okay, fine. But then you've got BYU, Arizona State I just mentioned, Cincinnati, Iowa State, a 2-loss Baylor if they won out, a 2-loss KU. I don't know if mathematically they all could win out because surely they have to play each other, but that league is so balkanized, I don't know if they do play each other. TCU, I think a pretty good 4-1 team. And get ready for it. You'll have people go, well, 10-2 is better than 9-3.
It's going to be the debate for sure. It's absolutely going to be a debate. It could all. The Notre Dame part of this is also going to be a huge conversation topic because I do think there's a decent chance that Notre Dame is going to run the table, and it's going to be that old conversation of, well, we didn't beat anybody, but our 2 losses were quality losses,
and we're Notre Dame.
Well, sure. I don't think there's a scenario. I'd be shocked if a 10-2 Notre Dame got left out of the college football playoff. But yeah, these are going to be serious conversations that are had. So the question all comes back to though, who's going to emerge in the SEC and really carry the banner for the conference? Because for crying out loud, look at Ohio State and Oregon and Indiana right now in the Big Ten, looking really, really strong. And then you got the SEC where it's like, well, is Texas A&M or Oklahoma or Ole Miss, are they going to be our bell cow this year? And nobody has a ton of confidence maybe in that. And then Georgia, LSU, Alabama have already taken losses. Texas has already taken 2. But it's interesting. I think it's. In some ways it's a good problem to have because again it's depth. And I'm an advocate of the 12-team playoff. Don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily want to see expansion, but if you do see expansion, the SEC will fill that bracket up with a lot of teams because the SEC is going to end up with a lot who are sort of on the bubble.
Mm-hmm. But I only want it earned. I don't want the SEC or anybody else handed anything. Here's the scenario we really need, Bryant. We need Navy to go to South Bend and beat Notre Dame for our American pride.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely. Hey, American's been good against those P4 teams this year, Brett.
Maybe. It's a good league.
Yeah,
people take their shots at the American, but it's a good league this year.
It sure is.
No, it definitely has been. David, there were 3 teams in the AP Top 25 this week that received first-place votes. Ohio State, who is the number 1 this week, Miami, and Oregon. Out of those 3 teams, who is the best team right now?
Miami deserves to be number 1. Okay, your question was who is the best team. Mm-hmm. I answer that as who deserves to be number 1 is Miami. Who is the best team? Oh, now that's legitimately it's a different question, and it's harder to answer. I think the best team is Ohio State. I think the team that deserves to be number 1 is Miami. Miami has 4 pretty high-quality victories.
Yeah.
Ohio State has 1 okay victory. How impressive is beating Texas, really? Texas doesn't look very good.
And Florida beat them worse than Ohio State beat them.
That's a good point.
No doubt. So that's the question. Because if you haven't really played anybody, you can't. It's hard to know for sure. Now, I will say, against Minnesota, that passing attack looked really good. Nobody has reached 10 points against Ohio State this year, so their defense is clearly playing pretty well. The caliber of competition, though, has been pretty low. And then Oregon, it's like, oh, wow, they went and beat Penn State. Okay, in the moment, that seemed like a really nice accomplishment, but now it's kind of like, I don't know how impressive that really was. Penn State, their 3 victories are against Florida International, Villanova, and the Little Sisters of the Poor. So it's I don't know how good Penn State is. How good is that win for Oregon? So the most deserving number one team based on resume, clearly Miami, and there's no question about it. But if Miami and Ohio State played, I think Ohio State would probably be favored by 3.5.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Talking to David Cobb, he joins us every Monday to talk college football here. Not too much longer, we'll be talking college basketball with him as well. David, I'll be completely honest with you. Saturday was the first time since week one that I have watched North Carolina football. I watched them week one. They had the Monday night game. It was the only game on. We all watched it. I have not laid my eyes on this North Carolina team since then. Watched pretty much the entire game against Clemson. This North Carolina team's awful.
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, that's an understatement. And how crazy is it? Boston College with Bill O'Brien is it's just as bad. So you've got these two key figures from the Patriots dynasty coaching in the ACC, and I'll just say, like, if you were a Colts fan and a Peyton Manning guy, during that Patriots dynasty, you might be enjoying this. You might be enjoying this a little bit, seeing Bill Belichick and Bill O'Brien really struggle their way through ACC football right now. But this thing is a total train wreck. I'm sure you guys saw the report earlier today that Bill Belichick had directed North Carolina's social media managers not to post anything about former North Carolina players who are with the Patriots and not to post anything affiliated with the Patriots on their social media. So, they've got this Drake May, former legend at North Carolina, leaves this great comeback victory for the Patriots last night. And it's not until they get blasted for not putting anything out there on social media that they finally do. And I mean, it's just like, how petty are you, Bill Belichick, to implement that sort of protocol? I mean, it's just, it's sad. It's a disaster. And I think it's even worse than the sort of worst case scenarios that we maybe envisioned.
I do worship at the altar of Bill Belichick, the greatest NFL coach ever.
Definitely.
I don't know how much I am enjoying this, but I did a little bit enjoy both opening night in that loss that North Carolina suffered to TCU and in Saturday's loss, because so many of the NFL types of we're the shield. Your college days are over. Stop all that college and high school hairy stuff. We're the NFL. And Sonny Dykes and Dabo Swinney, two college football lifers, just wore out the greatest NFL coach ever.
Yeah, I think there was this assumption that an NFL coach, he'll come in and do great things, and it'll be he'll put these poor little college coaches to shame, and it's quite been the opposite. Now, I think the other element, I just want to know, I'm not in the North Carolina meetings, and I'm not in that locker room and on that practice field. What is this the same Bill Belichick that we had 20 years ago? I think surely not, and I don't even know that it's close. And I think that's what it is. It's a guy with a cutoff hoodie on that has the same name, but
it looks hemmed. It doesn't look original cutoff.
No, I know, and that's just part of it. It's like, man, it's like, I've made this analogy before, but it's like Michael Jordan coming back and playing with the Charlotte Bobcats at the time, and it's like, what are you doing, man? Like, your legacy is secure. You're only gonna hinder it by going out there as a shell of your former self to prove what? I mean, what are you trying to prove? And how vindicated now are all of these NFL owners who, were kind of pressured to hire Bill Belichick? Oh, interview Bill Belichick. And they didn't, and they are certainly glad that they didn't now.
So I think we're in agreement that if it ends today at North Carolina, it was a failed experiment. Sadly, because of health concerns, if it ends at the end of this year for Deion, that was still worth it, wasn't it?
Oh, no doubt. I mean, I think Colorado would say, yeah, it was. They were coming off of 1-11. They got a Heisman Trophy winner. It was absolutely a success. He immediately took them to 4 victories, then took them a lot higher than that last season. And they're still competitive this year. I mean, they're 2-4, but they're hanging in games, and they're not awful. They're just kind of a lower tier Big 12 team that lost 2 NFL draft picks that were the anchors of their roster. I mean, and that's going to be tough for any team to to recover from. And I'm with you, Brett. It does feel like the groundwork is being laid here for Coach Prime's tenure there at Colorado to maybe come to an end. I mean, he's dealing with some pretty serious health issues, and he was open and transparent about that after their game this past Saturday. So, I mean, what left does Deion Sanders have to prove? I mean, my man's done everything there is to do except be an NFL head coach. And who's to say? He's the type of guy that I guess I wouldn't be shocked if he somehow found his way into the league. So no, if you're Colorado, you got everything you wanted and more from the Deion Sanders experiment.
Mm-hmm. Dave, did we overreact to Alabama losing first weekend at Florida State? Because since then, I mean, they've been rolling. They've been fine since then. Yeah,
that's a really weird outcome to try to figure out in retrospect, because Florida State has not been as good as maybe that game suggested they would be. And they've had a lot of turnover issues, and the defensive front has not been as solid as maybe it looked like it might be. And then on the flip side, Alabama has just looked like a well-oiled machine, and Ty Simpson is just carving people up and making plays and looking really poised and comfortable, looking like one of the better quarterbacks in the SEC, really in the country, I would say. So yeah, it's interesting though. I still have questions about Alabama's defense, but it's no different than the questions I have about any other SEC team. That's the deal in the league right now. Every team has its imperfections, even the ones that you look at as the better teams in the league. But yeah, that was a huge win over Vanderbilt, which is a weird thing to say. Like, that is a weird thing to say, that it was a huge win over Vanderbilt. But it was. And then, obviously Diego Pavia had talked his talk, and he was not able to back it up because Alabama forced him into a couple of turnovers in the red zone, and that was the difference in that game.
Mm-hmm. David, on Monday, do you watch the SEC press conferences? Because today I was watching, and a couple of times out loud, watching him at the dais taking questions, in the lower third, Chiron said, head football coach Bobby Petrino. Can you believe he's back?
Oh no, I can't. It still blows my mind. And you got Tennessee, Arkansas this week. Boy, if Arkansas pulls that upset on Tennessee for the second year in a row, he might be the permanent guy. By this time next week. It seems like they just are looking for a reason to name Bobby Petrino the permanent head coach at Arkansas. They'd give them any reason to do it, and I think they'll do it. Beating Tennessee would be a great reason to do it. No, I really can't believe it. If you talk to anybody who's familiar with the way things went down at the end at Louisville, you would have never in a million years thought that Bobby Petrino would even get a chance to be an offensive coordinator again at the Power 4 level. I do think he's still got the offensive mind, the offensive scheme. I still think that part of who Bobby Petrino is pretty sharp, pretty solid. The program manager element of Bobby Petrino is what I have so many questions about. Because it ended in disaster at Louisville. It was a disaster to end at Louisville. And college football has only continued to evolve and change since then. So I think he's still a good offensive coordinator, but being an offensive coordinator and being a head coach are two totally different things. And so, I have my doubts. If I were Arkansas, I would want to go through an exhaustive, thorough, full coaching search before I go down that path again. But it feels like, again, like they're just looking for any reason they can find to name him the permanent head coach.
2 tours of duty at 2 different places, U of L and Arkansas, for Bobby Petrino. He only faced Tennessee one time in Arkansas first version and won 49-7. David, I will remind you that in 1992, Arkansas fired a coach in season. Jack Crow and the interim coach, Joe Kynes, went to Knoxville and beat Johnny Majors that started the beginning of the end for Coach Majors.
That is a part of your memory that I think the fact that you can just pull that is unbelievable.
It really is.
Unbelievable. And
Orlando Waters punt return set it all up. And then Arkansas successfully with the with the onside kick and Todd Wright at the buzzer for the winning field goal.
Wow. How about that?
I think I'm talking to a Chat GPT or something right now.
No, just old Brett. Chat Brett.
Chat Brett.
Hey, for my Tennessee friends, I hope history does not repeat itself. But now that I know that, yeah, that's kind of spooky. That'd be pretty weird if it happened.
Mm-hmm. It really
and
would.
speaking, you use the word scheming. You used it in the football sense. Philip Fulmer was doing plenty of scheming then too.
Well.
Oh yes, he was. Absolutely, he was. That was, well, I mean I guess it was 33 years ago now. Yeah, that was exactly how it went down, and he and Johnny Majors never really squared things up. They never really buried the hatchet, and that's really sad. Like it's kind of a sad chapter in Tennessee football history, honestly, because you've got two legendary players, two legendary coaches, who both put so much into that program, and the fact that they never were able to bury the hatchet for the sake of the Tennessee family, to me, it's kind of one of the all-time tragic coaching transitions. It really is.
David, we do Mount Rushmores, Big Fours, all these lists. I really believe, never mind playing prowess, because Coach Fulmer was a really good workman-like offensive lineman, and Johnny Majors was full-blown college football star. I think if you just had a Mount Rushmore of you cut them open and Tennessee orange, Rocky Top, checkerboards flow out of their veins, I think you would start with Johnny Majors and Philip Fulmer on that list.
No doubt. And it's been great
and
to
Peyton
see.
would be third, I think.
Of course. I mean, he's at everything. Any big Tennessee sporting event, Peyton Manning tends to be there. And it's good to see that Fulmer is still a part of the family, because the way his tenure as AD ended was ugly and uncomfortable. But, thankfully, he's still been welcomed and embraced as part of the Tennessee family. And it's one of those chapters, and I hope Bill Belichick's North Carolina chapter is viewed the same way 15 years from now. It's one of those things where Fulmer's time as the AD, you kind of gloss over, you kind of forget about, and you kind of revert to thinking, oh, yeah, this is the guy who won the 1998 national championship, who won the SEC East multiple times, who coached Peyton Manning, right? And so you tend to revert back to the happier memories with a guy like that. I hope for Bill Belichick's sake that this North Carolina thing ends and he can kind of, the general public can get to a point where they remember him for the good instead of the ugly ending.
Yeah, no, I definitely hope so as well. Well, David, as always, thanks so much for joining us. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll do it again next Monday.
Okay, guys, sounds good.
Thanks, David.
Thank you, David. David Cobb with us from CBS Sports, talking all things college football. And you're right, Brian. In just a little bit, we're going to be talking college basketball. Yes. It's getting closer.
Weird to think about, but yes, it is right around the corner. I saw Arkansas had their kind of midnight madness type event.
Big crowd.
Duke had Countdown to Craziness over the weekend as well. I think Arizona had their event. So yeah, we're getting to basketball season. It's hard to believe.
4 weeks from today.
Yeah, that's Brett, that's insane. But
we'll have final scores at
we
this
will.
time.
No, we will have. We'll be recapping games. That's nuts.
Field of 68. You're doing college basketball fans a great service. Thank you for kind of picking up that 24 hours that ESPN tried. They didn't stay with it. I think I look, it's easy to spend somebody else's money, and I know budget and that time of year, it was probably hard, but Field of 68's making that work.
No, they are, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I mean, bright and early basketball games on the opening day of the season, so I'm really looking forward to it.
This hour of our show brought to you every day by Landers Ford in Collierville. On Friday, we had Brad Bellamy with us with Landers Locks, and he went 3-1 in college football, and he still got a game working tonight in the NFL. So another good week of picks for Brad. He is 15-9 on the year with college football picks. We'll tote up the NFL totals after he has one more tonight. But Landers Ford, the number one Ford dealership in the Mid-South, your trusted destination for a vehicle that fits any lifestyle. The great shopping experience from vehicle choice to financing and service, all the way through the whole life of the vehicle. They will take care of you, from the Ford Escape to the rugged F-150 to the adventurous Bronco. Every vehicle built Ford tough, in the Ford F-150, America's best-selling truck. SUVs like the Ford Explorer, the Ford Expedition, the Ford Escape, Ford Broncos, EVs, hybrids, they have them all. Transparency and professionalism and a long-term support at Landers Ford. You need an oil change. You need tires rotated. Go online. You schedule it when it suits your very busy schedule. The best. They want to accommodate you. the valuable customer, the valuable friend. Landers Ford, active in our community in Collierville at 2082 West Poplar Avenue, or online at LandersFordMemphis.com. If it doesn't say Landers, you paid too much.
Let's grab another break, and when we return, it'll be time for our Sissy's Log Cabin look back at the weekend in the SEC.
Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Available locally on your radio dial as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, it's easy to stay tuned to Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Kevin Harlan here for Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Join me and Hall of Fame quarterback Kurt Warner as Trevor Lawrence and the 3-1 Jacksonville Jaguars host the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City now 2-2 thanks to back-to-back wins. Now they face a Jacksonville squad looking for a third straight victory. Don't miss it on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
All right, gentlemen, this is Emmett Smith on behalf of Depend, and I've got the perfect play. Run straight to your doctor's office for a life-changing catch. Because when prostate cancer is caught early, it's up to 99% treatable, and one blood test might be all it takes. And now through November, Depend is donating to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for select purchases. Talk about a great play.
From September 1st to November 30th, Depend is donating 25 cents to the Prostate Cancer Foundation for Depend Shields Guards Real Fit products purchased in the U.S. up to a maximum of $300,000. Or in Mississippi.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. All so that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome to Triumph Auto Sales, where you'll have a great car buying experience. Triumph Auto Sales is your #1 source of quality pre-owned vehicles ranging from lease returns to new car trades, all at huge savings. Plus, Triumph has a full array of financing options to meet your needs. Find your next car online at triumphautosales.com or stop in today at 4875 Elmore Road. Triumph Auto Sales will help you get the vehicle you want at the price you need and the service you deserve. For a great car and a great experience from a local and family-owned business, visit Triumph Auto Sales.
Take your basketball skills to the next level at Shoot 360 Memphis. Shoot 360 is a revolutionary basketball training facility that combines cutting-edge technology with gamification and provides instant, objective feedback with hands-on, one-on-one expert coaching. And now, introducing Shoot 360 Cordova, a newly renovated 50,000 square foot facility with 2 NBA regulation-size courts, 3 high school-size courts, and 4 shooting bays with Shoot 360 technology. Memberships are now on a monthly basis. And yes, you can become a member at both locations. Whether you're an aspiring young talent, NBA player, or looking for a unique workout, all skill levels are welcome at Shoot 360 Memphis to learn proper shooting and passing techniques, improve fundamentals, and gain a competitive edge while having fun. Shoot 360 Memphis, now in Cordova and Collierville. Call them today at 901-779-3176. That's 901-779-3176. The future of basketball training is here. Shoot 360 Memphis.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Afternoon, a couple of EMS calls just in the last 15-20 minutes now. It's building, no surprise. Really here southbound on 240, trying to get out of Midtown at South Parkway. Some showers still moving around certain parts of Mississippi. Be careful down 55. I've seen a few showers down south of Memphis and parts of DeSoto County. Hey, Zips Car Wash, that's where I go. So should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com. Find a location close to you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
And she says, I wish that I could be like the cool kids, 'cause all the cool kids think
5, 4,
3, 2, 1.
Time for a look back at the weekend in the SEC. Brought to you by Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies with 9,000 square foot in Laurelwood. Let's go inside the SEC with Bryant and Brett.
Chad Kelly in the gun formation. 3rd and inches for Ole Miss.
Carlton will kick it. It is on the way, and it is up.
Buck Bellew looking at it, going to pitch it to Herschel Walker, try to get him outside. He's going to get 5.
The snap is high. Kelly grabs it, wants to throw, fires it up in the air. Treadwell can't get it.
It is good! Oh, my!
Get it. Deflection is caught. Deflection is caught. And down the sidelines is Adebayo. He's to the end zone. He's in there. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
He's got 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. He needs a block. There goes Herschel. There goes Herschel.
And you can wrap this one in maroon and white, my friends.
Arkansas is headed to Atlanta.
The national champion is clad in big orange.
First game of the day was Georgia, 35-14 over Kentucky. They have played every year since 1955. Ooh. They will not play again, though, until 2027 with the new scheduling makeup. And, well, nobody will miss it.
No, not at all. And I don't think I think a lot of people missed this game on Saturday because I don't know how many people were locked into Georgia and Kentucky.
And you'll win, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, and it was easy for Georgia. You look at what they were able to do offensively, over 400 yards of offense, able to get it through the air and on the ground. And then for Kentucky, really struggled, especially on the ground. 45 yards rushing for this Kentucky offense on 22 carries. I mean, just really hard to even believe an SEC team, even against a team like Georgia, held to under 50 yards rushing. But that's kind of where Kentucky is right now. And after the game, Mark Stoops asked about, hey, is your time coming to an end at Kentucky? He said, nope, I'm not quitting. They're going to have to force me out of here. So
he was defiant.
Oh,
and
yeah,
I don't blame him.
No, but
he's accomplished a lot, but it is ending rather ugly. 16 straight for the Dogs over the Cats.
Wow.
You mentioned only 45 yards rushing, one touchdown passing for Gunnar Stockton, 2 rushing for him. This week, Georgia at Auburn at 6:30 on ABC.
Yeah, it's just a weird game, but one that I think understandable with Georgia. And they're rolling right now after that loss against Alabama. They wanted to pick up and kind of get back moving in the right direction. I think they did that against Kentucky.
I do see Kirby Smart very intense, a little bit not frazzled, but super intense, like he's not getting through to these guys.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I could see that, and I think, obviously after, another loss to Alabama, it doesn't surprise me, especially
narrow
in this
win
game.
In overtime at Rocky Top.
You see some of these games and how they're ending, and the, the kind of excellence that is kind of expected now with Georgia. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Bama 30-14 over Vandy with Johnny Football doing his thing on the Vandy sideline. Again, of course, Johnny Football lives in Nashville. No shocker there. Bama now 62-20-4 all-time against Vandy. 340 yards passing for Ty Simpson. They're still not running it that well, and he's firmly in Heisman talk. 2 TDs passing, 1 to Ryan Williams, 1 to Jeremy Bernard. Bama 7 of 15 on 3rd down. 2 Vanderbilt turnovers. Pavia was good. He wasn't great. Vandy now 5-1. They have an open date, and Bama's at 4-1 and going to Columbia Mo to play Mizzou at 11 on ABC.
Yeah, this was a fun game, and I think Alabama really starting to figure things out. We talked about it with David Cobb. You lose that first game, and I think immediately, because of the way last season ended and then the way you started the season against Florida State, immediately everyone wanted to jump up and go, oh, Alabama's done. But since then, they have looked really, really strong. And in this one against Vanderbilt, looked really good. Ty Simpson, the season that he's putting together right now, nearly 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and then starting to get that run game going with Jam Miller, who missed a lot of the early part of the season. This now just his second game back. You go back to last week, only 46 yards for him against Georgia. Now in this game, 136 yards on the ground for Jam Miller. So maybe Alabama starting to come around and maybe going to be a lot better than what we thought, especially after week 1. So really impressed with what Alabama did. On the other side, you're right. Early I thought Vanderbilt, Brett, early in that game, first quarter and even early in the second quarter,
they were in control.
It looked exactly like last season's game, and I thought that's how it was going to play out. So a lot of credit to Alabama for really changing things in the second half and getting a big win at home.
Florida 29-21 over Texas. First Florida win ever over Texas. They hadn't met that many times, but they had never won. They beat Texas and beat them worse than Ohio State did. By one, if you want to compare scores. Florida 2-3, Texas 3-2. Dallas Wilson, ironic, a guy from Dallas puts it on Texas, isn't it?
How about that? You love that. But no, this was I think a little surprising with the way that Florida has been trending over the last couple of weeks. But all of these questions around this Texas team, how good are they? We talked about it a lot last week, Brett, of this Texas team. Okay, they enter 3-1, but you look at those 3 wins, and it was against teams that you knew the second you saw them on the schedule, no matter who was going to run out there for Texas, that it was a name-the-score game. And so now they get back, or I guess start SEC play, and it's on the road in the Swamp, and they were not able to step up to the challenge. Arch Manning, just the season of woes and question marks continues for him. On the other side, DJ Lagway, pretty good game, and like you said, able to get it going on the ground, and then
he's
a
not
big
close
game from Dallas Wilson.
to healthy.
No,
you
all.
can look at his ankles. You know they're taped under the sock, and you see how heavily they're taped over the sock and shoe on the outside. And it looks like he's moving around on hot coals at times. That it's very painful for him to really get set and throw off the platform. 6 catches, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns for Dallas
Really
Wilson,
impressive.
52 yards rushing for Texas. Arch was bad again. Box score, it looks okay. 16 of 29, 262, 2 touches, 2 interceptions, but it wasn't close to that good. And I didn't think anything could top the dreadful Uncle Peyton performances at the Swamp. But that did.
Yeah, topped it. It definitely did. And Brett, even going back to that game, I've seen some people posting film and even just watching it on Saturday, noticing even some of those completions. You're watching and you're going, get the ball out, throw it. And he's waiting so long. I think there was one touchdown pass, I think it was late in the game, where he's got a guy wide open and he's just holding on to the ball. And then he finally gets to him, and almost the Florida defender almost made a play on it. Now they were able to, it was a completion, they scored on it, but even some of these completions, you mentioned that box score, it looks okay. You start looking at some of those throws that are, their receivers are making plays and they're turning into completions. Some of those are still just real shaky.
Yeah, the decision making is slow. The arm strength is poor, and it doesn't look like he knows at all where to go with the ball.
No, it doesn't. It has been and then it's not going to get any easier for Texas. Now they go to Red River and against Oklahoma and really get into the meat of their conference slate. So it could get real ugly for Texas.
State Fairgrounds Saturday at 2:30 for Red River on ABC. Gators deep in the heart of Texas this week as well.
Yeah.
They'll go to Kyle Field at 6 o'clock, and we'll talk about that game with Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com coming up in about 18 minutes. Oklahoma, the other half of Red River, they win 44-0 over Kent State. Michael Hawkins, a tune-up to get ready for Red River. 3 throwing, 1 rushing, 17 yards rushing for Kent State. OU now 2-0 all-time. Whenever they play again against Kent State, it'll be 3-0.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No question about it. But, there was only really one question going into this game, and it was, what does Michael Hawkins Jr. look like? Because it's, extremely likely that they don't want to go ahead and say that Mateer is going to miss the game against Texas. But it's about a 99.9% chance that Michael Hawkins will be the starting quarterback for OU against Texas. And so, like you said, a tune-up game. Oh, he's fine. 162 yards, 3 touchdowns. He didn't turn it over, but it's going to be a massive step up, even with this Texas team having question marks and really struggling. It's going to be a massive step up from Kent State to that Texas defense.
The 3 biggest deceiving scores from Saturday, Texas and Florida wasn't that close. FSU and Miami wasn't that close, and A&M 31-9 over Mississippi State wasn't that big a blowout that it looks like that it's going to go down in the record. But close game most of the night. A&M now 10-9 over Mississippi State. KC Concepcion 2 touchdowns, both from Marcel Reed. Reuben Owens 142 rushing, only 77 yards for State, and an injury to Fluff Bothwell. 1 of 10 on third down for State. State punted 8 times, but they are playing hard. They are improved. If you watch, you know.
Yeah, no, you're exactly right. You know, Brett, late in the third quarter, this is a 7-3 game, and then A&M ends the game with touchdown, field goal on their final 4 possessions of the game. So, I mean, this was a really good game, a fun game, and then ultimately Texas A&M able to strike in that fourth quarter and make it this 31-9 game. But you're right. I mean, Mississippi State, from entering the season and everybody pretty much picking them to finish last in the conference, to what they've been able to put together now 4-2 on the season and playing extremely competitive in these losses so far in conference play. Blake Shapen, 142 yards for him, only 77 yards on the ground, but this defense for most of the night was able to make plays and keep this Texas A&M offense under wraps, more of that bend, don't break type of defense for Mississippi State until late in the game when A&M was really able to put it on them.
Open date for State, much needed. Good timing for them. In A&M, they host Florida. That's a look back at the weekend in the SEC, brought to you every Monday at 4:30 by Sissy's Log Cabin, the official jeweler of the Memphis Grizzlies. And tonight at FedEx Forum, you can go to the FedEx Forum to the floor seat lounge and look at those beautiful display cases of all that jewelry, the estate jewelry, fine gifts. They have an expanded line for Rolex in that 9,000 square foot store in Laurelwood at Poplar and Perkins since 1970, with all the great locations across the Mid-South. The Mid-South's largest selection of one-of-a-kind jewelry, engagement rings, wedding bands, necklaces, earrings, unsurpassed value, exceptional service, expansive selection, and an extraordinary shopping experience, because life's too short for ordinary jewelry.
How good does that feel to say, Brett? You can go tonight. Oh, man. It's only preseason, but I'm still looking forward to this
game. And huge
game.
Supporters of the 23rd-ranked Memphis Tigers. You see that at the games with all the advertising at the games, the special displays on the field, and the great on-field seating.
That's right. That's exactly right. So, yeah, we love our friends over at Sissy's Log Cabin. Well, let's get to another break, and when we return, it'll be time for Big Number of the Day.
Not only can you listen to your favorite shows on Sports 56, you can also watch video of the shows live on Twitter and YouTube. Watch and listen every day at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Maria's Cantina in South Haven is not your average Tex-Mex joint because they're serving up Mexican with a twist. Maria's Scratch Kitchen is the most creative and diverse menu around. Beyond the traditional huge quesadillas, chimichangas, and fajitas, Maria serves up hand-rolled Latin egg rolls, Cajun and Creole items like catfish, gumbo, and boudin balls, as well as the best sandwiches and 8-ounce burgers in town. Wash it all down with a house margarita for only $5.50 and happy hour every day till 6. MariasCantina.com, 6717 Airways, Mexican with a twist. NST's been taking down insurance giants for over 35 years. Big firm power with hometown heart? Yeah, they don't play. It's that combination that has helped them win billions for their clients. NST is the way to go. Call 683-7000. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used? They've got it with fleet solutions and custom upfits. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family, driven to keep you on the road.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. I wanted to take a minute and discuss advertising with you. There are so many websites that list the best service provider in your area. Even the BBB has an accredited list. You know the one thing they all have in common? A company like mine has to pay to get on that list. So that begs the question, can those lists be trusted? You know what can be trusted? History. We've been around for almost 30 years providing customers with the best service and the best products that we possibly can. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call. We'll come talk to you and let you decide for yourself whether or not we know what we're talking about. 5 Roof Services. Best products, best warranties, and in many cases, the best price. We're fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
5 Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Progressive knows RV owners like to travel at a nice, relaxing pace. Just like this commercial. They're not rushing to a departure gate at the airport because they depart from their driveway. And they can relax even more knowing they're protected by Progressive. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Now back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Landers Ford in Collierville. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Big Daddy.
Hello, Big Brand. It's a guy, he wants to be big, then he gets big, he doesn't want to be big anymore, then he gets small, but the suit's too big.
Big Daddy.
The big boy.
You're a big guy. I think she's trying to pull a fast one on Big Daddy.
The big number of the day.
But there's so many good big numbers from the weekend. You could really go a lot of different ways. So I'm going to try to limit myself to just 2 big numbers today, and they're both from the college football weekend. My first big number is 40. Penn State is the first top 10 team in 40 years to lose to an 0-4 or worse team. That's how bad that was Saturday.
Yeah, BYU did that 40 years ago, and that wasn't as big a stunner as Saturday for Penn State.
No, not at all. To make matters even worse, this isn't my second big number, but entering Saturday, the projection system SP Plus gave UCLA a 61% chance to go 0-12 this season.
I thought they had a really good chance.
I thought they had a really good chance, and Brett, pretty good chance that they don't win another game this season with the rest of the schedule they have in front of them.
That was an inspired effort.
Oh, it was. It was fun to watch. I'll be completely honest to see them get that.
Did you think they would hang on as the game? I didn't either.
No. We were watching it. At that point, I was out at the Tigers game with some buddies at their tailgate, and so we were watching it, and we were all kind of like, this has been fun, but these last couple of minutes, here comes Penn State. They're gonna turn this around and get a narrow victory. My other big number, Brett, and it comes from, again, the first time I have watched North Carolina since week 1 of this season. They're atrocious. I mean, I was surprised how bad of a football team they are. So that inspired this big number today. In 3 games against Power 4 opponents this season, North Carolina is 0-3, and my big number is 120 because they're being outscored 120-33 against Power 4 opponents this season.
I do admire Max Johnson, though. The wild ride he's been on to play college football. And did you see when they showed his surgically repaired leg?
Oh, yeah.
And it looks like a railroad track.
Oh, yep.
How many stitches? 200 stitches?
Something
around
there.
He had to hold it together. He was afraid that when he broke it, that it might break in two. And I'm watching that, and then I'm seeing that team, and I'm going, Max, you don't have to do this.
Oh, man.
You came back. You played college football. Don't get hit again. You don't have to do this.
Oh, I mean, it's Brett. I just could not believe. And I completely understand. It was against Clemson. I know Clemson.
It was like Alex Smith after his comeback.
Yeah.
Okay, you did it. Stop.
That is
Stop
a
now.
really good comparison. But that team is just. It's surprising how bad of a team that North Carolina team.
You think he makes the year?
Man, I think he makes the year just because I think his pride is too big to quit midseason. But I think right when the season's done, he calls it quits.
Yeah, it is not work. My big number is 15. That's the number of undefeated teams that remain in FBS, and that includes the Memphis Tigers and Ole Miss in all those scenarios that they could be on a collision course. And wouldn't it be fun?
Oh, man. It'd be so much fun. I mean, like I said, I went to, let's see, ESPN, The Athletic, CBS Sports. I saw Max Chadwick's, and I think I saw one more, and I can't remember whose it was. So at 4 or 5 outlets that I saw today. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
All of them, without a doubt, no matter if it was 12-5 or 11-6, whatever it was, Memphis, Ole Miss, first-round matchup, and that would just be unbelievable.
And I still say let's dream even bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get the Tigers in one of those protected seed games. Ole Miss, if they won the SEC, would be 1 or 2. The Tigers, let's say, get the 8 seed, win the 8 or 9, and meet in a bowl game.
Yeah.
Never mind campus. Meet as the 1-8 at the Sugar Bowl.
Yeah, I mean that would be great as well. And even throwing that out, another kind of option. I mean, just looking at right now some of those predictions of if you can get out of the first round, some of those teams that you could see in the second round is really fun. I mean, I saw Oklahoma, I saw Oregon. I mean, some of these possibilities of teams you could see in the first round or even the second round if you could come out of that first round game. I mean, it is dream scenario for the Tigers.
It is. And key word there, dream. We know one loss for either, then it's back to reality, and you might be scrambling to get in one of those bowls.
Yeah, but I mean, it's fun to have those expectations. It's fun
Let
to
us dream.
have those dreams. I mean, but you're right, and that's kind of the way I've been taking it this whole time is, hey, you got to go out and take care of business. And,
Half the season's
the second
over.
that happens, I mean,
this isn't June happy talk.
No, I mean, you are closer today than you were after the Arkansas game when we started talking about college football playoff and all of that stuff, or even before the season when we were talking about the chances of college football playoff talk. So
I've got in front of me some really silly August 12th happy talk. You want to hear it from me?
Please.
Penn State over Clemson in the national championship game.
Brett, I was right there with you. I mean, how crazy does that look now?
Yeah, because we're actually playing now.
Yeah, no, reality set in, and reality that I didn't think would be a reality has set in, and Brett, I'm glad you keep those handy. I think I burned those preseason.
I think I'm going to.
Pigs. I mean, Brett, both of us, same national championship game. Neither of those teams are in the top 25 right now.
We could be looking at Clemson lucky to get in a bowl.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's crazy. A weird world we live in right now.
What about a Clemson-Texas bowl game?
Well, Brett, I mean, let's go even bigger and better. We still have our national championship. It's just a matchup in the bowl game. Penn State and Clemson
it's
bowl.
in the Roasters Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, the Roasters Coffee Bowl, whatever bowl game
is
that
Roasters
is.
or Roosters? Or is it neither?
Brett, I'll be honest with you, I don't remember that being a part of it. I remember the Scooters, because that was I know Scooters was the brand, but maybe it was, I don't remember a roaster, rooster, whatever it is in there. But it'd be some sort of bowl game that I'm sure we aren't too familiar with the name of it that Penn State and Clemson will be getting in. But we need to wrap up this second hour, get to another break, and when we return for our third and final hour, we're going to talk Texas A&M. We'll talk the SEC, a lot of college football. Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com. He joins us next.
You know what I love about Central Barbecue?
They pay you to do their radio commercials.
Well, yeah, but what I really love about Central Barbecue is I'm proud to do their radio commercials.
Really? You should put more effort into it.
I'm proud to represent the very best barbecue in Memphis, and therefore the best barbecue in the world. Wait, what'd you say?
Nothing. I'm proud to do the Central Barbecue ads, too. Believe me, I've done some ads for companies that really weren't the very best in their business.
I know the ones you're talking about.
No, you don't. That was a long time ago.
If you say so. But doing ads for Central Barbecue means being able to say, honestly, it's a great product at a great price.
With lots of great locations.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Burgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar based. It's now available in a 32-ounce jar. It's so good to baste or marinate all meats. I even put a little bit on turnip greens. Something we've been using at the restaurant or at our house has been the Greek seasoning. My father was a cook, but my mother was a chef. And she was the one that put Greek seasoning on everything from a Mediterranean diet or a steak. My mom used it on soup, salad, veggies, fish, any meats. It's a great seasoning and a flavor enhancer. My brother Nick figured out salt and pepper was more than just McCormick's and Morton's. He's come up with the perfect blend we use to coat our shoulders and our brisket, and he used to make it for his friends as Christmas gifts, and they loved it. All these products are available at the Rendezvous or online for shipping as gifts and in many grocery stores. And if they're not in your favorite grocery store, ask your grocer to stock it.
A beloved family affair and still going strong since 1948, the Rendezvous.
Oh, tasty high note. Oh, hi, don't mind me. I'm practicing my new baritone sax. I just heard PayPal's paying for people's stuff every day for 100 days, and there's 10 million up for grabs. All you have to do is use PayPal checkout online. So there's never been a better time to buy a few things off the old wish list. Like this leaf blower! PayPal could pay for your purchase. The Great PayPal Checkout.
No purchase necessary ends July 18th. See official rules at paypal.com/thegreatpaypalcheckout/terms. Participating merchants only must use PayPal checkout online. Coverage of up to $100 and eligible purchases per card.
Mike Golick Jr. here from Monday Night Football on Westwood One. Coming up, the Jaguars host the Chiefs. Kansas City's won 2 straight to get their season back on track, but now face a Jacksonville defense coming off a big performance and also looking for a 3rd straight win. Join my dad and I for the pregame. Then Kevin Harlan and Kurt Warner will call the action on Monday Night Football.
Right here on Sports 56.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance supervisor at a manufacturing facility, he knows keeping the line up and running is a top priority. That's why he chooses Grainger. Because when a drive belt gets damaged, Grainger makes it easy to find the exact specs for the replacement product he needs. And next day delivery helps ensure he'll have everything in place and running like clockwork. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ready to kick off the fun? Chumba Casino is your go-to game plan during halftime or overtime. From spinning slots to instant scratch-style cards, it's like running the perfect play, all from home. New players score a free welcome bonus and daily logins with a shot at some serious prizes every time you play. Get in the game and visit ChumbaCasino.com today. Let's Chumba. Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in a state where it's legal to play.
This traffic report is brought to you by Millington Weight Loss. For more information, call 901-436-0272.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. A couple of accidents getting some attention, just really building now through the Midtown area. 240 South here at South Parkway. Still dodging a few rain showers out here. Just depends on where you are. As you head south of town, there's a good chance you could hit some of those showers on 55 down through South Haven and further on south down in through DeSoto County. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry, your full-service, family-owned jewelry store right here in Memphis. Check them out this week, 7525 Highway 64. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis, with Dave Woloshin, weekday mornings from 10 to 11. Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Love to be the rain.
Welcome back into Sports Time. Bryant and Brett with you as we start our third and final hour on this Monday afternoon. We're going to talk to Olin Buchanan from TexAgs.com here in a second about this Texas A&M team. And I mean, it can't get much better for this A&M team now. 5-0 and rolling right now. They were kind of that team in the middle that it was kind of like, okay, what will this Texas A&M team be this year? But so far, so good. Now they'll face off against a Florida team coming off a big win themselves. They'll be playing with a lot of confidence. So I think I've been impressed with this Texas A&M team so far.
In the SEC undefeated survivor pool, who had A&M, Oklahoma, Mizzou, and Ole Miss?
Not me. I'll say
kind
that.
Kind of the Big 12 plus Ole Miss, isn't it?
Brett, it really is. It really is. But it is, they're in a good spot right now. Yeah, I'm trying to think out of these teams, who would be the one that you least expected to be 5-0 at this point?
I would say Ole Miss with the LSU game.
Sure, yeah, definitely with LSU on there. I think that's definitely the one that I would have been skeptical on. But
to this point, I did have Oklahoma undefeated. Yeah. I had A&M undefeated, and I had Mizzou undefeated, and I did not have Ole Miss undefeated.
Brett,
so it is Ole Miss.
You were one off from being the winner of the Survivor pool.
Yeah.
So you're very close, but yeah, I mean, I think Texas A&M I think could have been one, obviously, maybe the next most unlikely because of that Notre Dame game on their schedule. I know a lot of people circled that game as being a really tough one when we didn't really know what Notre Dame was at the time, coming off of a national championship appearance, and they were able to get through that, a nail biter, but a win nonetheless. And so I think they've been really good. It's what we talked about before the season. I think we continue to come back to. They finally have an adult in there, Mike Elko, somebody that I think is doing a great job and is going to do a great job with this A&M team.
He is, but I'm ready to see more out of their offense. Yeah. They had moments, and they've had moments this year, but for a long time, that was pretty much a stalemate. And we know the game last week against Auburn was that they only won 16-10. And I mentioned in an SEC recap of the weekend. Mm-hmm. You've got Red River in Dallas, and you've got Florida and A&M in College Station. That's two good ones.
Yeah, well, it's you mentioned that offense. It's been kind of a weird start of the season for the defense because you look at some of those earlier games, and you give up 24 to UTSA, you give up 22 to Utah State, then you give up 40 points to Notre Dame, and now these last two games. The defense has been great. You only give up 10 points to Auburn. You give up 9 points to Mississippi State. But, yeah, it goes back to this offense. Only 16 points against Auburn. And then for most of that game, you look at that and go, oh, man, well, the offense was great. You put up 31 points against Mississippi State. We just talked about it. I mean, for most of that game, we're talking late in the third quarter, it was a 7-3 game most of the way before they started to turn up. So, yeah, I think if this offense can kind of unlock that next level, I think you're talking about a team that we could really be talking about them being a threat for this SEC title game.
We'll keep trying to get a hold of Olin. I don't know what happened. We've tried several times to reach him, and usually very reliable. We'll catch back up. But tonight we talked about the first preseason game, and now without Ja, with 2 weeks before opening night on Wednesday. I don't know we see Ja any in the preseason.
No. And that's what we talked about. I, again, don't have any information on this. I don't think many people have much on kind of what kind of ankle injury this is. But this feels to me like hey, this is an ankle sprain, just kind of one of those things where you roll your ankle, you got that ankle sprain, and then let's keep you out for preseason, precautionary, so that you're ready on opening day. At this point, right now at 5:07 on October 6th, I fully believe that Ja Morant will be out there game one of the regular season for the Grizzlies.
Boy,
that can change.
If he's not, then
we're having conversations.
Then here we go again, and once again with this front office, and it's why the kind of the coy rope-a-dope strategy that they've always had about injury not being forthcoming, then
yeah.
that will only build, and that falls back to Zach Kleiman because he's running the team.
Definitely. Because, Brett, I do think, and I think you're right, and it's what kind of worries me about this ankle injury and seeing that week to week, because we know with this medical group, you see that week to week, you see that undefined, that reevaluated here, or will be out this amount of time, and then it turns into this long thing when we never really know when they're going to return. But I think that since we haven't seen that Grizzlies PR release, we haven't seen that big thing, gives me some promise on there. But with this group, you still never know, because I would not be surprised at all if you get that ankle injury and in a week, in a couple of days, we get that full release of we're going to reevaluate in 2 weeks. We're going to reevaluate in 3 weeks.
This has been the source from team spokespeople.
Yes.
This has not been the Grizzlies PR account.
No, it has not been. And so,
but he's still out. He's still injured.
He's going to be out, and like you said, I don't think
that's a little semantics too.
Sure, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's preseason games. I don't think it's anything to worry about or overreact to. Another thing, DeMichael Cole just putting out, Javon Small is away from the team tonight due to personal reasons, one of the two-way, so he won't be there as well. So, Brett, kind of a skeleton crew tonight for the Grizzlies with all of these injuries and guys away from the team.
It's opening preseason.
That's right. Again, the big word there, preseason game. Well, we have Olin Buchanan with us now from TexAgs.com to talk A&M and the SEC. Olin, thanks so much for joining us. Number 5 in the country, Texas A&M. They've looked good so far this season. What has been your biggest takeaway so far through 6 weeks of the season with this Texas A&M team?
I think it's strange to say, especially since a couple of weeks ago that they kept self-sabotaging against Auburn. But I think they're an explosive offense as expected and a better than expected defense so far. And they could be really good if they could just get out of their own way and, cut those penalties down to, 6 or 7 instead of 13 a game.
And Olin, I know you know this, but the win at South Bend, the far and wide college football playoff repercussions that had then and will have at the end of the year, that and the other Notre Dame loss could keep them out. And for the SEC and A&M, it could get another SEC team, being A&M, in. That was a big win at South Bend.
Yeah, I think anytime you beat Notre Dame, you get attention. And then, quite frankly, I think Notre Dame's got USC coming up, if not this week, pretty soon. And if you really examine their schedule, if they beat USC, don't be surprised if they're 10-2. I don't know. I don't think a 10-2. I don't think a 10-2 Notre Dame ever gets left out. I don't trust any committee there. So a 10-2 Notre Dame, especially if their only 2 losses were to, let's say Miami and A&M's able to stay in the top 5, I can't see a 10-2 Notre Dame with 2 close losses against top 5 teams or even top 10 teams is going to be left out.
Olin, I'm very, very with you, and I say it every year at NC basketball tournament bracket revealed, and same for the college football playoff. They're not just releasing a bracket, they're releasing a TV show, and Notre Dame in a TV show in college football means a lot of attention and a lot of dollars. So with that, A&M, are they pulling for Notre Dame to keep their profile up, or do you want them nicked up to get another SEC team in?
No, you know what? I don't think you even pay attention to Notre Dame. Now, if they win, that's great. A&M's playing good football, and they have a good roster, and they're good enough to make it in on their own, on their own merit. And besides that, even if Notre Dame wins, if you hit a November tailspin like A&M typically does, like they did last year, I don't think that's going to be enough to save you. So, if Notre Dame keeps winning, fine. But I think the focus for A&M is you're rolling, just keep it going, and if more teams or less teams from the SEC gets in, whatever. I don't think A&M cares. I think it's all about A&M, and they're looking out for number one and nobody else.
And I can't blame them. Bryant said it earlier when we were bringing you on, talked about Mike Elko, that kind of the adult supervision, a real tough guy. What's the big contrast? We see a lot, but what's the one you see every day between him and the previous staff, Jimbo Fisher's staff?
Yeah, just more of attention to detail. And I do think, I always thought Jimbo did a really good job until they gave him the second contract, and I think he got really lazy, not necessarily in putting together like game plans and stuff like that, but with his hiring and of his staff and his support staff. I think he just got really lazy with that, and it showed. But I think with Elko, it's very much the attention to detail, what he demands and won't accept. He had some players when he took over at A&M. One of the first thing he did was say, hey, we're going to eat breakfast as a team. Everybody's expected to be, at the, I don't want to call it the mess hall but at the, at the training table.
Plus dining hall.
Yeah, dining hall, whatever you want to call it, at 6 a.m. And we're going to have a team breakfast. And then, everybody's expected to work, do their weightlifting at a certain time. And he had some guys push back on that. And some of them are starting at other places now.
Yeah.
Basically, he said, I don't care if you're good or not. This is how we're going to do things. And if you're not going to be on board, then, go somewhere else and we'll see you there. And A&M has played some of those guys that were on the team last year.
And the time to do that is early in your tenure.
Sure is.
Like in the first month, I think Jimbo brought in some guys that, all you have to do is look at that number 1 2022 class and see how many stayed. I think he brought in a lot, and most of them didn't, and a lot of them were, I hate to use the word, but I don't know how else to say it. Let's say questionable character type of guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mike Elko has shown that he's doing a little bit more effort into vetting guys. I mean, there were guys, if they had a 5-star next to their name, I think they would gamble on whether or not there'd be any trouble with them, even if they had been in some trouble before.
Mm-hmm.
And, usually it doesn't work out that way. If they've been in trouble before, they're going to get in trouble again.
Yeah.
And they put up with some guys with some very questionable behavior. I won't say what it was, but they had a star player that fell asleep in practice, like out on the field. And when he was woken up and yelled at, just left and ended up transferring to another SEC school. Elko's not going to put up with stuff like that. And, again, but the attention to detail, I think, is maybe one of the things that really that's different. Now, quite frankly, I thought Jimbo did a really good job here for about 4 years.
Olin, I need more information on this player falling asleep at
was
practice.
He standing up?
Was
reclined?
Was he just like on the bench? I mean, I need more information about this.
Now, I wasn't there, but I was told by multiple guys that he just wandered off into a shady part of the stadium and laid down.
Well, a good afternoon nap. After that, after Mike Elko's big breakfast, you might need to take that nap.
I guess so.
And this was a guy that was a really good player. So
yeah.
I think I don't think that'll fly.
Wow.
Under and the way I was told that guy played in the next game.
Wow. All right.
I know they're having fun in and of itself, and as you said, just worried about itself. But is it also a little bit of fun to see the newest SEC brother not that far away in Austin having their struggles?
No, man. you think the Aggies would wish ill will on anybody?
I didn't say ill will, just enjoying it a little bit.
Oh, hell yeah. They're enjoying it. And, in fact, I don't know if you saw this, that I don't know if it was after the game in the press conference or if it was in the Monday press conference. Steve Sarkisian made some kind of comment about, hey, look at the other 135 teams in the country, see how they would do if they went to the Swamp and went to Ohio State. And of course, the Aggies in mass were I say retweeting. I guess that's no longer the way to use it, but with the score from their game at Florida last year, saying, "Hey, it's really not that hard, Coach, because A&M beat Florida there."
Yeah.
So they were never going to miss an opportunity to remind him.
No, of course not. Starting quarterback Marcel Reed, he's been pretty good this year. You didn't need much from him against Mississippi State when you run for over 300 yards as a team. But so far, what has stood out to you about Marcel Reed this season?
I think Marcel Reed has been a little inconsistent. He's shown that he can do some amazing things. You mentioned the Notre Dame game; he had 360 yards passing, led A&M to on a game-winning drive late. Obviously late, and threw a touchdown pass with 13 seconds to go to win that game. And then there's been some other games where he's been struggling with the deep ball and things like that. But overall, I think he's played pretty well. I think he's only scratched the surface of what he can be. One of the biggest, questions or surprises or curiosities about Marcel this year is his, I don't want to say unwillingness, it's seemingly hesitance to run the football, and A&M's seeming hesitance to involve him in the running game. You might remember their game against LSU last year when he came in the second half and took over and ran through LSU, and brought them to a come-from-behind win. I mean, he was amazing in the zone read and things like that. And they've seemed not to use it as much, even though he did have a running touchdown last week against Mississippi State. But he's just not as much of or hasn't been as much of a threat in the running game. It's almost like they want to make him a pocket passer. And maybe that's because, they're trying to make sure that they can keep him healthy. That's been an issue for A&M over the years, keeping a quarterback healthy. They haven't had a quarterback start and finish the season since 2020. And, Marcel's not the biggest guy anyway. I think they, fed him relentlessly over the offseason, got him up to about 185 pounds.
Yeah. But he is a very heady player, son of a coach. His dad used to be the head coach at Tennessee State and a great high school player in Nashville. I think he's got the moxie. He's got the temperament. Ole Buchanan, our guest from TexAgs.com. He's on our Sissy's Log Cabin guest line. This week in College Station at Kyle Field against the Gators. Next week to Fayetteville to play Arkansas. Are the A&M fans as glad this is back on campus as the Arkansas fans are?
Yeah, I think so. The best thing about playing up in Arlington at the Jerry Jones Stadium is that it was a 2.5-hour trip for us. Okay, great. But college football is meant to be played on campus. I think an Ole Miss game, if you were playing it every year in, say, Memphis, it just wouldn't be the same unless, every year like it was. It's just more exciting on campus, and sometimes you want to go to places that you haven't been and see how they do things, there. A&M used to travel to Arkansas all the time, every other year back in the old Southwest Conference days, but that ended around, 91 or so, and maybe 92, but some of we forget just how long ago that was. That was 30 years ago. You got a whole generation of fans that never. I think they've been to Arkansas one time since A&M joined the SEC, and that was in 2013.
Yeah, so, and Arkansas and A&M also, some very famous games in Little Rock.
That's even before my time. So I'm not surprised. But anyway, I could have given you a much shorter answer. Yes. The Aggies, from what I've been able to gather, are very much welcoming the idea of playing that series home and home again.
Absolutely. Texas A&M, a really good opportunity to be 7-0 entering the game against LSU. What a big game that would be. What do you expect? I know we're still a couple weeks away from that one, but what do you expect in that matchup, the next ranked matchup for Texas A&M against LSU?
Well, first of all, I'm going to say this. The Aggies are good enough to beat anybody in the country, and they're not good enough to overlook anybody. So I do think they have a great opportunity to be 7-0, but I think they'd be foolish to overlook Florida, especially after that game. And if you'll go back, even when Arkansas was losing to Western Kentucky and North Texas, they play a hell of a game against A&M every year. So not taking those for granted. But if that was the case, maybe it'll be a game day thing if A&M is 7-0 and LSU beats. I think they got South Carolina and then Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah.
So if it was 7-0 versus 6-1, if that was the case, LSU I'd assume would be in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you know this, but the Aggies don't like LSU either.
No. And it goes way back before SEC.
Yeah, it does. Back in '94, A&M beat LSU for the 5th consecutive year, I believe it was, and LSU ended the series.
Mm-hmm.
And A&M's like, well, what are you talking about? Ending the series? They owed A&M money that they never paid. We figured they just gave it to Harvey Williams back in the day. When that game comes, A&M they haven't won since '94 in Baton Rouge. And since being in the SEC, they've come close a couple times. I think a few years ago they were down to 30 seconds when LSU threw a touchdown pass about 40 yards. And a couple of years before that, they had a great opportunity, but they haven't been able to pull it off. And I think those LSU Tigers will be absolutely convinced that they're going to do that again this year. I will say this, though, A&M's playing some really good defense. And so, if they don't get that offense figured out with all that offensive talent they have, with all those receivers and Nussmeier, if they don't get it figured out, this might be the year A&M finally puts an end to that drought. But, again, you just never take it for granted going to Baton Rouge when you've had so many problems with them over the last several years.
Olin, we saw the most famous Aggie of them all over TV on Saturday on the Vanderbilt sideline. Does Johnny ever come back to Cal Field in College Station to games?
Yeah, we see him there on occasion. The bigger the game, the more he'll show up. And he comes into our offices, fairly regularly because he and our owner Billy Lucci are buds. So, but he comes to town. You're always welcome. Where, back in your own college town where you were a football hero, right? Mm-hmm. So there may be some places where Johnny can go and they'll boo him like Tuscaloosa, but he'll always be welcome. He'll always be a legend in College Station. And, he's had his issues, but those Aggies can be pretty forgiving, especially if you can, score a lot of touchdowns.
He built that stadium, didn't he?
Well, he was definitely a factor in it, as was a lot of other people. But, the biggest disappointment, I think, with Johnny while he was here is that he left early. I would have, and Evans, too. I would have liked to have seen that Johnny Manziel to Mike Evans combination for 3 or 4 years. But, hey, it was great while it lasted.
Mm-hmm. No, it absolutely was. Well, Olin, as always, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll do it again soon.
All right. Thanks a lot for having me.
Thank you.
Olin Buchanan joining us from TexAgs.com. Talk the Aggies and the SEC. And things going really well down at College Station with Texas A&M 5-0 in the top 25, rolling right along. And big opportunity for that one. I know a lot of people here are hoping that LSU Texas A&M isn't game day, because I think a lot of people are maybe hoping that that game day could come here for Memphis and USF. So
sure could.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's definitely a game that'll be on the list if both those teams remain on course. So I know there's
can it top 2019?
No,
you got to try.
I don't think so. You got to try, but that was really special when game day came here in 2019. But yeah, I'd be up to trying to top it if they decide they wanted to come back here. But always fun talking with Olin Buchanan. Well, we got to get to a break here in a second, but before we do that, let me remind you about our 5 o'clock sponsors, Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Jaguar Bluff City has been the premier Jaguar dealership for the greater Memphis area since 1984, and their talented team is ready to help you find your next perfect vehicle at unbeatable rates. Swing by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City today and check out the new 2025 models like the 2025 Range Rover Sport, 2025 Range Rover Velar, and the 2025 Defender. Test drive the Range Rover Sport, where luxury meets performance. It's a perfect mix of style, performance, and versatility, with options ranging from 360 horsepower up to 635. It's also available as a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle with $7,500 federal tax credit when leased with approved credit. Take a look at the Range Rover Velar, powered by mild hybrid technology and enhanced with the latest well-being features and fully connected entertainment system. The Range Rover Velar is the ultimate luxury compact crossover. Purchase yours today and get special 4.4% for 72 months financing available with approved credit. Don't forget about the Defender, available in multiple models to fit your needs. The Defender is built for the modern explorer, and Jaguar Bluff City is offering special interest rates for 60 and 72 months on various models. Give them a call, 877-259-6169. Go online to jaguarbluffcity.com. But head out there, test drive these vehicles, 6335 Wheel Cove, just off of Quinn's, for Bluff City Jaguar. We need to get to another break. When we return, a lot that we got to do. We'll do our Monday Night Football pick and preview. We'll also get to our top 4 all-time for the Jaguars and the Chiefs. We'll also make hockey picks, so stay tuned. We're doing all that next on Sports Time.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis has serious vans for serious work. At 4430 American Way, they are the Mid-South source for cargo, passenger, crew vans, and custom chassis. Need one or a full fleet? New or used, they've got it. With fleet solutions and custom upfit. Certified techs keep you moving with fast maintenance, repairs, and a large parts inventory. Mercedes-Benz Van Center is your Sprinter Van headquarters. 901-237-9302 or sprintervans.com. Mercedes-Benz Van Center Memphis, part of the Tag Truck Center family. Driven to keep you on the road.
Family Leisure doesn't do anything small. It's always got to be big, just like the world's biggest spa sale. Happening right now at Family Leisure. Check this out. You can get spas starting under $3,000. Spas and even swim spas, they're up to 30% off. Floor model spas have even bigger special prices. Cold plunges are all the trend right now. Take the plunge starting under $5,000. You see a patio furniture set you like? You could get a free umbrella with it. Ask an associate for details. Plus, swimming pools are clearance price now through the end of October. Get yours before the prices increase. That is with any big sale. Special financing, it's available. The only thing small during the world's biggest spa sale at Family Leisure are the prices. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun come together.
At Choate's Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electrical, we've proudly served families across the Mid-South since 1958. Still family owned and operated, we're built on tradition, trust, and old-fashioned service you can count on. And now to celebrate 68 years of service, we're offering a heating tune-up for just $68. Keep your home safe, efficient, and ready for the cold months ahead. Looking to upgrade? Right now, get up to $2,000 in instant carrier cool cash rebates, plus 60 months no interest financing on select carrier systems. That means comfort and savings today and peace of mind for years to come. But that's not all. Upgrade today and take advantage of $500 off a tankless water heater or a whole home generator installation. Even more ways to protect your home and your family. Don't wait. These special offers won't last. Call 347-8086 or visit ChoatesHVAC.com today and turn to the experts with Choates and let our family serve your family.
This traffic report brought to you by Salt Sports Bar and Bistro, 3101 South Mendenhall Road, where great food meets the big game.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good afternoon. We got a couple of accidents in their clearing stages. We're still having to deal with some pretty heavy showers coming down out here in rush hour traffic, especially trying to get south of Memphis down. 55, looking at the radar, it looks like it could be affected coming down sections of 55 down through DeSoto County. Zips Car Wash, that's where I go, and so should you. Get upgraded shine and protection at your local Zips Car Wash. Check out zipscarwash.com. Find a location near you. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
Here comes the hero man, says he's a people man.
Hello again, everyone. I'm Howard Cosell. Welcome aboard. ABC's Monday Night Football.
Monday Night Football, we're back, and I think going to be a fun matchup tonight. Kansas City and Jacksonville. Lana and I were talking about it earlier. Jacksonville, I don't know, are they wearing throwback uniforms tonight? I'm assuming.
I think they are.
But they
had great original uniforms.
Oh, yeah, no, they did. But I don't know if you've seen, Brett, but the logo at the 50-yard line is a throwback logo for the Jaguars.
It's the original Jags.
Looks really,
not
really
original
good.
Jag,
It looks awesome. So I hope they're wearing throwback jerseys as well.
The team that got our franchise, we knew Charlotte was getting one, and we believed the other one was going to be ours. And Wayne Weaver and the Jags got it.
How about that? So, So maybe I shouldn't be rooting for the Jaguars tonight.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. We can move on, I think.
Big NFL meeting at O'Hare. George and I went up to.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, fall of 93. About this time, in fact.
Going live from O'Hare.
Yeah.
How about that? I love that.
Chasing the NFL.
Chasing the NFL. I love that. I love that. But yeah, no, I think a lot of questions tonight with this game. Chiefs are the favorites on the road, but I do think questions about both of these teams, and this one could be a pivotal game. Jaguars are 3-1, but can they keep this up? On the other side, Chiefs 2-2, and
1-2 in a row.
1-2 in a row, and I think everyone thinks, hey, they're gonna get back on the right track, and so far they have. Can they keep that up with a road win tonight? Jaguars, that 3-1. It hasn't been super smooth. It's been kind of an ugly 3-1 for the Jaguars, but it's a 3-1 nonetheless. And, obviously a step up in competition, even last week against the 49ers, but certainly this week against the Chiefs. I mean, those first three games, Panthers, Bengals, and Texans, not the toughest of competition, but you get a jump now with the Chiefs in town.
Jacksonville will take 3-1 any old way you can get to it for a franchise with 11 losing seasons in the last 14 years and losers of 8 straight in this series against Kansas City.
Yeah, nobody's gonna question the 3-1 in Jacksonville. They're just happy to be there.
Please tell me that they've taken the tarps off the upper deck seats, that it's a real sellout for Kansas City.
I would hope so.
I haven't seen a blimp shot.
I haven't either. They did one that seemed like a wider shot going to break, but I wasn't paying attention enough to see.
The old Gator Bowl, now Everbank. I was there for the Gator Bowl game. Can't believe those locker rooms have NFL teams in it.
That bad.
But they're getting ready to be bulldozed.
Oh, yeah.
and
they're
getting ready to have
I
think a fixed roof, not even retractable over it.
Oh, really?
When they get through with all the construction.
Holy cow.
The Jags are going to be out of there completely over the course of the next few years.
Yeah, they are. And it feels like every team in the NFL getting ready or already in the process of stadium renovations, new stadiums. So
going to be a lot of domes.
Oh, man. I mean, just about everybody's going to have a dome, Brett. I mean, it's kind of crazy to look around at these teams. We know the Bills won't.
All right, last night watching the Seattle baseball game, real quick.
Yeah.
I know that's retractable, but they said that some of the sides and at the end are still open air, and it affects the ball sometimes, even when they close the roof.
I don't think I knew that. Huh.
And you're a Seattle fan.
I am a Seattle fan, and I don't think I knew that. That's
but nobody's like out in the elements, are they, when they close
No,
it?
I don't think so. I think it's just, I don't know, maybe some wind. I don't know how that would affect.
Because Old Kingdom was one of the worst domes ever.
That's fun
conceived.
last night, though. These games have been scary. As someone who is actively rooting for the Mariners to win the World Series, first 2 games have been terrifying, but at least they won last night, I guess.
So tonight you'll see Travis Hunter. That'll be fun, won't it?
Sure. That'll be fun. You know, he's
a little dinged up last week.
Yeah, and he's still trying to figure it out. Last week was a better game receiver wise, but he's trying to figure out how to play both sides of the ball in the NFL. And we all talked about it right after the draft, going into the season. It's not going to be as easy as it was even at Colorado in the Big 12 to play both sides in the NFL with how long the seasons are, just that, up another level of football. And so he's learning, but he looks like a rookie out there. But it'll definitely be fun to see him on national TV playing both sides.
We were all 2-2 in the NFL. Kansas City -3.5. The reason why Jacksonville's hosting is because of Kansas City. Give me Kansas City, Brian.
Yeah, I'll go with Kansas City as well.
I don't like it, but Kansas City's been playing better, so group lock on the Chiefs tonight.
I don't like
that at all.
We have a group lock. So.
1-1. We all lost Philadelphia, but we all won Minnesota early yesterday morning by a half point.
Love that. Hey, any way you get there, Brett.
And we were 1-1 group locks in college, all missing on Florida State and all hitting on the Tigers.
All right. And Tigers, they stay
Tigers
perfect.
Don't let us down.
Against the spread. 6-0
Tigers
overall,
paying,
6-0 against the spread.
Just paying everybody, aren't they?
No, I mean, just take the Tigers. Blindly bet them. Whatever you got to do. 6-0
Let it ride.
against the spread is 6-0 against the spread.
All right, who wants to go first on Jacksonville's Big Four?
I guess I'll go first. Doesn't sound like anybody's jumping out there, but I'll go first. All right, my Big Four.
And this was all in the throwback uniforms too.
Yeah,
for me.
Well, mine aren't necessarily all throwbacks, but I'll start. We'll go with an OLI. Lynn Dawson as an OLI
for Kansas City.
Yes.
Okay,
is this not
either one? Kansas City or Jacksonville? Either one.
This is top list. 4 for
each.
Oh, yeah. Top 4 Jags, top 4 Chiefs.
Nope, I only have one list.
Brian and I both thought this was.
I'm sorry.
Brian and I both thought this was a combined list.
I thought this was a combined
list.
Brett.
All right, cool. Y'all go combined. Okay. I'll do the 2.
Okay, perfect. Then I will go combined with my list, and I will go Lynn Dawson, OLI, and Brett. Yesterday, I was at the Memphis Music Festival and saw a guy wearing a throwback Maurice Jones-Drew jersey, and I said, that guy gets it.
That inspired you?
Guy gets it. Number 4, Maurice Jones-Drew. Oh, one of my favorite running backs growing up. He's number 4 for me. Number 3, Mark Brunell. Number 2, Tony Gonzalez. And number 1, the man we will all watch tonight, Patrick Mahomes.
I guess I'll go now too. I have an OLI as well. He's a Jaguar, and man, I really wanted to put him on the list, but I just couldn't. Blake Bortles, quarterback, love that guy. Blake Bortles is an OLI. I think he deserves that.
I sit in stunned silence.
Yes. I'm appalled by his play as well. Great quarterback. I would be speechless just seeing Blake Bortles. But coming in at number 4 for me, I have Mark Brunell. Number 3, I have the great running back, not Maurice Jones-Drew. I have Fred Taylor in that place for the Jaguars. My number 2, going back to the Chiefs, because I like to keep it 2-2. Chiefs running back, Priest Holmes. Who had an absolutely dominant run in the early 2000s. And then number 1, how could it be anybody else but the current greatest quarterback, Patrick Mahomes.
If I had combined this list, there wouldn't be a Jacksonville Jag in a top 40.
was, but Maurice Jones-Drew, Brent. I mean, it was almost like being at that, and just
Christian Okoye, Larry Johnson.
I don't know. But
Not for me.
But Brett, it was almost like the sports gods were talking to me, because we had already talked about this was the list we were going to do today. I'm at this music festival, and it was almost like the skies just opened up.
And how often are you going to see a Maurice Jones-Drew jersey?
Charles?
Yeah, well, Jamal Charles.
Okay, well, I did think about Jamal
Jan
Charles.
Stenerud, the first kicker in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I love Maurice Jones-Drew.
Buck Buchanan, Bobby Bell.
Well, you named some good players, Brett, but
Otis Taylor.
But Blake Bortles, you know?
Okay, I can't defend. Brett, when we're grouping, do not group me with Blake Bortles, okay? That was an outlier. Yeah.
Here's my 4 all-time, and only one Hall of Famer of the 8, and it's Jacksonville, because I've got 4 current players for Kansas City
Brett,
as the top 4.
I don't think that's crazy.
Mahomes 1, Kelsey 2, Chris Jones 3, Harrison Butker 4.
I don't think that's crazy at all.
That's good.
I don't think it's crazy.
Jacksonville, Tony Baselli. Saw him with the Jags here in Memphis at the fairgrounds that year against the Tennessee Oilers.
Okay.
Number 2, he was on the team too, Fred Taylor. 3, Jimmy Smith. 4, Mark Brunell.
I like it.
I almost included Jimmy Smith.
Yeah,
Fred Taylor and Jimmy Smith deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Absolutely.
I agree with that. It's a good list, Brett. 2 good lists. Because you played by the rules, and Landon and I did not.
We
I made up the rules as I went along.
I mean, there was something that happened there.
I'm sorry for the lack of clarity.
No, it's okay.
We pulled a Fleetwood Mac. We went our own way.
I don't mind it at all.
It's good. I like that. Good reference. All right. Are we going to do it?
We are. Are we ready?
The music.
Yeah.
We're changing
Monday Night
sports.
Football music's done.
Kill the electricity. Pull the whole breaker box at the station for hockey picks. I'm going to start.
Please.
Go for it, Brett.
Since I have abandoned the Maple Leafs.
Right.
They cannot ever hurt me
They'll
again.
never touch you again, Brett.
In the West, I'm going to stay with our Preds, representing the West, and in the East, my new team, the team I'm really pulling for. Now, like the Maple Leafs, they haven't won it in a long, long time. Maple Leafs went back to 67. This team goes back to winning it back-to-back in 74 and 75. My friend Pat Donahue at the world-famous Rendezvous, he recruited me to be a Philadelphia Flyer fan.
Right.
Flyers take the Stanley Cup for the first time since 75.
I like it.
51 years next spring.
You talking about Canada? I thought you were going to go Montreal, but
nope. The whole country can't hurt me again.
You've given up on the country of Canada.
You've disowned Canada.
That's incredible. Brett, I don't hate the Flyers. I don't mind them. I can get behind that. I like that. Landon, would
my
you like
Flyers.
Yeah,
I can get behind it, Brett. I like
guess
the Flyers.
I guess I'll go to save our actual hockey semi-expert to go last. For the West, for me, I'm going to go with the Vegas Golden Knights. I've been reading a lot of stuff that they're heavily favored this year to win the West, and in the East, I was going back and forth between a lot of teams, but I'm going to go with the Carolina Hurricanes and go ahead and give me Vegas to win it all.
I have the same exact final as Landon.
Oh,
you do? Wow.
I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. I like Carolina. My one hockey friend gets mad at me that I like Carolina as much as I do, but I do like Carolina. I think they could actually get through this year. And then Vegas, you said you've been reading a lot. You said they're favored a lot of places to win the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Add me to the list. I have not done any reading on them before the season, but based on what they had last year, based on what they've brought back, what they've added, I think Vegas can get there. And who did you say you have winning it all?
Vegas.
Yes, Vegas. Thank you, Brett. I forgot already.
I'll go the opposite side. I'll go with Carolina to win it all.
Okay,
How about
cool.
that? So,
Somewhere in there we may have the winning pick. It may shock y'all to know this, that I just kind of went with feel, that I didn't do a lot of reading on it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want you to be confused. I didn't read a bunch.
Okay.
I did the Cliff Notes version.
I was impressed. I mean, I was, I did some homework on the
Maybe did a little bit of research.
Invariably, after we do this, we'll get a serious text from somebody. If you're going to talk hockey, you don't have to trash it. We're not trashing it.
I love hockey.
We're admitting we don't know anything about it, but like it.
Yeah, no,
we do like some hockey.
Brett, whenever it gets, you know me, Brett, for those who don't watch, and you can watch on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, I mean, when the weather gets cold outside, pretty much every day I'm wearing a hockey sweater.
You work it great.
Oh, thank you. I love hockey sweaters. So, and I love hockey. I'm excited. We got
They're
triple
in
header
fashion.
tomorrow. They are.
And
I think they look
my
great.
two teams neither play until Thursday. I did look that up.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I guess I did read some.
Semi-expert over here.
I mean, hey, research is key.
Was that show prep?
Brett, throw it in there. I think it was. I think it was a lot of show.
Throw
prep.
it in the big old hopper,
Yes.
spin it around, see what you have.
See what comes out. Well, before we lose all of the listeners with hockey talk, let's get to a break. And when we return, we will wrap up today's show like we always do with Moe's Crunch Time.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
If the question is, where should we all go after work? The answer is always Bell Tavern. Bell Tavern, Memphis' perfect downtown neighborhood bar, not only has the perfect relaxed atmosphere you want in a bar, it also has an outstanding happy hour with $2.50 domestics, $3.50 imports, $3 well drinks, and $3 house wines, and $1 off of virtually everything else. Those are great prices at a great bar in a great location. So not only are we talking about everybody's favorite hang with ice-cold beers, signature cocktails, and the friendliest staff in town, we're also talking about great happy hour prices.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roof Services. Do you know what Penny Hardaway and I have in common? We should both be in that building celebrating the best basketball players of all time. Of course, I'll have to buy a ticket to get in, but he should already be there. But seriously, we both surround ourselves with the best people we can find. We work hard to achieve our goals, and we are both among the best in our respective fields. At Fiveash, we can't win titles or get national awards, but what we can and do strive to do is give 100% of ourselves to give you the best product possible and one you can be proud of. So if you need a roof, siding, or gutters, give us a call at 901-367-0050, and we will do everything we can to provide you the best of everything. Fiveash Roofing. Fair, honest, and ethical. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com. 367-0050 or memphisroofer.com.
Fiveash Roofing, it's what we do. We're here for you.
Progressive knows there are two things RV owners love: to travel and relax. And they like to take both nice and slow. Just like this commercial. And what's more relaxing than the peace of mind knowing their RV is protected by Progressive? Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
At Jason's Deli, when you're dining in or picking up curbside, you can expect wholesome food and no surprises, just delicious sandwiches, crisp salads, and quick quality meals made with the freshest ingredients and no artificial trans fats, MSG, high fructose corn syrup, or artificial colors and dyes. Around here, a lot of thought goes into what we put into our food and what we take out of it, because you're not just taking a bite, you're getting a taste of who we are. New items are constantly being created to expand our menu for all tastes and special diets with vegan and gluten-free options available. Convenience and on-time delivery you can count on. It's just a click away at jasonsdeli.com, so whether you need to feed 5 people or 5,000, the team at Jason's Deli, they have the credentials and the commitment to keep you satisfied. Freshness is nearby at Jason's Deli with locations at Ridgeway in the Park Place Center, Poplar and Highland, Germantown Road in Cordova, and on Goodman Road in Olive Branch. Jason's Deli. It's wholesome food and no surprises.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Humdinger's Corporate Catering. Enjoy tacos made with crunchy slaw, grilled fish, and chicken, and the best taco sauce in town. Find out more, call Jenny Nash at 901-606-3172.
Now, back to Sports Time on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jaguar Land Rover Bluff City. Here once again are Brett Norsworthy and Bryant Dacus.
This is pretty cool, and we're just getting started.
Spanning the globe.
Go crazy, folks! Go crazy! This game has always been called the world's greatest cocktail party. Do you know what is going to happen here tonight?
This is for all the biggest Crunch Time. You are looking live. In your life have you seen anything like
Crunch time between the hedges.
The ball game is over, and Memphis has its first win in 16 tries, its first win ever against its fierce in-state rival Tennessee.
Goodbye! Hello, high school.
It's obviously crunch time.
Hammer, nail, coffin, this baby is over.
Crunch Time is brought to you by Moe's Southwest Grill. Need a crunchy bite to eat? Head to Moe's for tacos, nachos, crunch wraps, salads, and more. Moe's.com is your go-to for all your taco crunch time emergencies. Well, Brett, what I learned today is that it seems like the most popular prediction for the college football playoff is Memphis on the road in Oxford against Ole Miss. If that happens, what a week would that be? A couple weeks would that be after it gets announced?
So far.
Before that game is played, the buildup would be incredible. Now, again, and we've said this a couple times, we'll continue to say it because we'll talk about it a lot, I'm sure. We understand that it is October 6th, and a lot is going to happen before we even get to naming teams for the college football playoff. But right now, when you talk about predictions, what could happen, hard to get better than Memphis and Ole Miss in the college football playoffs.
Closer to it now than we were out at the golf tournament, though.
That is exactly right.
I learned today Bama sure was happy. I don't blame them for enjoying their win, but they were really happy over that win over Vandy. I know it avenged a humiliating loss from last year, and I know it says a lot about Vandy, but enjoying a win over any Vandy team, that also says a lot about 2025 Alabama.
Yeah, well, it is. It was weird. I mean, I noticed and kind of had to sit there and go, "Wow, this is weird to see." But I guess, hey, celebrate your wins however you get them. Well, Brett, what I could have done without today, it's this Mark Sanchez story that just gets worse and worse the more information that comes out. It was first reported early Saturday that Mark Sanchez was in the hospital in Indianapolis after being stabbed. Then later in the afternoon, we learned that he was being arrested at the hospital after being stabbed. Later learning that he attacked a delivery driver, was pepper sprayed, continued, and was stabbed in self-defense. And now today, we're learning that Mark Sanchez could be charged with felony charges for this. So up there in Indianapolis to work the Colts game, and now could be facing jail time.
Just go home, people. Go home.
Yeah.
You don't have to be out rolling around all night.
No, you do not. And seems like Mark Sanchez was, and it resulted very poorly.
Could have done without. I thought it was snow, but you say it was hail at the UNLV Wyoming game. What a weather occurrence!
Honestly.
I thought global warming had taken a big hit in Laramie, but I guess not. Also, on a serious note, and it could, the first thing it blows up tomorrow could end it. How about this fall? No hurricanes.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
point.
good.
Yeah. I
loss of life, property damage, everything that goes with it.
Yeah, I just looked it up, Brett, and I'm seeing these headlines. Wyoming's football field covered in hail in UNLV games. So, hailstorm.
I'm surprised they kept playing.
Yeah, I am definitely surprised. Where are you beaming tonight?
American Family Field in Milwaukee, roof closed, crowd towel waving for Brew Crew and Northsiders. See if Jackson Cheerio can go. Milwaukee 23-32 all time in playoffs. First time to ever meet the Cubs in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's going to be fun tonight. Beam me to the first preseason game of the year for the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, no John Morant out there, but we'll get our first look at the first-round pick, Cedric Howard. We'll see what this Tomas Isolos system looks like in this first game, so it should be a lot of fun.
And we'll watch the rest of this Dodgers-Phillies game. 3-1 Jags against Kansas City. We'll keep up with that for sure. And tonight at FedEx Forum, let's see if Ja's there on crutches or a boot or whatever.
Yeah, we'll be on Ja watch to see what he looks like, but it will be a lot of fun. So much to watch tonight. The baseball, preseason basketball, NFL, plenty to keep an eye on. But that's all the time we have. Enjoy the rest of your night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow afternoon.
Since 1948, in the alley, the Rendezvous. I'm with John Virgos. John, what's going on in the Rendezvous?
Brett, after 76 years, we've decided to expand our product line. Anyone who's tasted our ribs is familiar with our vinegar-based. It's now available in a